Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. It is your dude, International Passport. And before I speak about our first Passport Bros show, um, can you brothers please press a one in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear? How is the audio? Are we coming in clean, crisp, and concise? Theo, can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Awesome. Can you brothers hear me in the chat? Press the one, please, if I'm good, man. Let me know right now. Mayday, Mayday, Houston. We could have a problem or we may not have a problem.
But Austin, not Houston. Houston's 3 hours away. It's Austin. All right.
Austin. Right, awesome. So we're good now. So a couple ones in the chat. So welcome, brothers, to another classic live stream. I want to say first and foremost, thank you very much for the support over the past couple of years. Your support is greatly appreciated. And welcome aboard the new people to this movement. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. Make sure you definitely book your IT consultation with me or your travel consultation with me. Join that Patreon for more behind the scenes intel on foreign women and how to get down in the bedroom and other beep activity. And of course, brothers, make sure you please cop the merch. And of course, tonight, hit the super chats and the PayPal. So let's get it cracking. Today is the first ever Passport Bros show, okay, hosted by me, International Passport, and Theo Wef. So this is the first episode ever. We'll be doing this every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Yep.
And if you're in Theo's time zone, that'll be 7:30 p.m. What's
Central.
awesome Central time. Okay, so as every week, every Monday, don't miss it. We're gonna go ham, call out people, speak on crazy topics. This is gonna be an incredible series. So let's get a cracking. So let me do a couple introductions and get Theo to please introduce himself. If you don't know who Theo is, Theo, can you take it away, please?
Hey there. So my name is Theo Waff. I'm one of the leaders of the Passport Bro movement. I've been doing this for quite a while. I was a Passport Bro in 1991. Never looked back. When I had my first trip to France, and then really sealed the deal when I went to Russia in '93. From then on, it was literally impossible for me to date a Western woman. I've lived abroad over 20 years. I speak 4 languages fluently. I can read another 3. Constantly studying. I've got my university degree with undergrad. I was a triple major in undergrad, and then I have 2 master's degrees as well. I work in IT. I specialize in cloud security right now, cloud architecture, cloud security architecture, and DevSecOps. So that's what I've been working on for quite a while. I've been working in IT over 20 years, actually about 25 years right now. And I teach other men, in particular on the side, particularly Black men, how to work in IT and work remotely, particularly become a Passport Bro like I was. I became what can be considered to be like a working Passport Bro in '97. That's when I went to Japan. So I actually got a working visa, went to Japan, taught English first, and then switched over to working in a bank in IT. Never looked back. Had a great time. Came back to the United States in 2011, and then proceeded on from there. So I know quite a lot about international dating. Again, I've been over 40 countries in the world. I lived 1 year in Russia, and then also 1 year in France. I went to St. Petersburg State University, and then I also went to the Sorbonne in Paris. So had a good time internationally. I'm looking forward to leaving the country again. Of course, I'm in the United States right now, but I will be leaving the country very, very, very soon again. So I'm just preparing myself for that.
Awesome, great intro there. So let me introduce myself very briefly. I'm International Passport, one of the original founding members of the Passport Bros movement, or the travel movement for brothers. Been doing this for multiple years now, and trying to get brothers out there to experience their true potential, get into IT, meet the girlfriend and wives of their dreams, and live a very fruitful life. So let's get cracking. In today's episode, the first ever episode of the Passport Bros series, we'll be speaking about a emerging movement called the Passport Sis, aka Passport Sisters. Now, I'm going to define what that is, and Theo will also define it as well. But for me, a passport cis is a group of women that are copying what we're doing as passport bros. They're seeing us leaving and they're jealous. The best and brightest black men are leaving the community and they feel some type of way. So we're going to find wives and girlfriends, right?
Mm.
Passport cis are allegedly saying they want to find a husband and a long-term boyfriend. But recent events that I'm seeing on the internet doesn't really portray that. What's your thoughts about that, Theo?
Um, I think it's a good definition of passport sisters. Um, I have, of course, being abroad, I've seen plenty of Western women abroad, and they go to they go to different countries, and some of the sometimes they can speak the language. So they have rather interesting results. I'll say that. So yeah, I will say that there are some groups of them that do travel for love. Some of them travel for culture, or they travel for work, stuff like that. Particularly Western women, Aussies, I saw that quite a lot. They would travel for work abroad. So they're out there. Of course, we have various demonstrations of what they're actually doing while they're abroad. I have my own experiences that I'm going to be expanding upon, but they are this group that are trying to go out there and trying to find somebody else in another country.
Okay, awesome. So let me tell you why this passport sisters movement is a facade and it's completely fraudulent and garbage, right? Recent events in a country called Ghana has seen multiple women twerking on a slave monument. Okay. And
Mm.
then we go from Ghana to the recent Afro Nation Festival in Portugal, when these so-called passport sisters were acting the fool, they were twerking, they were getting down explicitly, right, with men in a open setting, right? So, and let me also add this as well, right? Passport sisters are a group of women that are absolute clowns because foreign women are not checking for them. Foreign women are not checking for Western women. I've been to Japan, I've been to Panama, and I've asked dudes, what do you think about American women? What do you think about American ABWs? Crickets. They don't even exist in their minds. They are only focused on Japanese women and Panamanian women and German women. So who is feeding these passport sisters these lies that they wanted abroad? They're not wanted. Break it down for us, Theo.
Okay, so they have this idea that they are. It kind of goes into an idea of like white superiority, white supremacy. This is something we've talked about many times within this sphere. So basically, they're feminists, without a doubt. It's rare that you see a traditional woman go abroad like this. So usually they're feminists, and they're thinking that their way is the best way, and basically their culture and everything they're doing in their culture is number one and infallible. So when they go abroad, they're thinking that they're like the best woman. In fact, a lot of times they think they're better than the natives. And so they're like, hey, you should be lucky to date me. And that's not what the natives think at all. They are not thinking this way. They are thinking very negatively about these women entirely. They don't want to be dealing with them. And what I have found is that the women either barely, they kind of speak the language, or they barely speak it. It's rare that they're actually fully fluent, or like they have like a 4-year university level of competency in the language. Most of the time, no. And so they go there and they aren't really able to mingle with the population. And of course, what we're seeing, and I'm thinking about Europe a lot. Again, the guys, I'm going to start with Europe. I'm going to go over to Asia and South America, and what my experiences have been there. In Europe, most of these women just became like community property. And I remember the German and Frenchmen talking about that, how they would like they want to date an American woman because she's an easy lay. And that would be it. It would just be grab, smash, and pass to the next guy. And it was, I mean, you wouldn't really have a relationship come out of it. She would just get her fun, get her rocks off, and then she'd go back to the States or she'd go back to the UK. That was it, particularly in the south of France. Oh, there are all kinds of stories like this. So I just looked at him and I said, "What are you guys doing? Like, really? Like, what is your goal? What are you actually doing? Because you're not achieving anything." This was very, very different from how the Western men were dealing abroad. They were having various levels of success, including myself. We were having like real relationships. These women were not.
Wow. So you're telling me, Theo, right? In your experience, these so-called passport sisters, they're just getting ran through by the men abroad. They ain't getting wifed up. There's no ring on their fingers. There's no ring on their fingers at all. Smash and dash, and that's it, bro.
No, it's more like they're enjoying this.
What?
They're enjoying getting their rocks off. That's what I would say, really honestly. Like, they're enjoying the thrill of it and going to this guy and living like in this fantasy world. Like, I remember one of my good friends I had in France, an American woman. She would talk to me all the time where it was like to like get banged by different guys, but she was looking at the Eiffel Tower or she was looking at the Champs-Elysees. And so she had that, it's kind of like this romantic like experience for her to get banged by multiple guys, but looking out the window and seeing France. And I was looking at her, I was like, you're just getting used by multiple guys. Jeez. Like, I was like, okay, well, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to say anything against it, but this was actually rather typical. You just have like the women like enjoying, like they have like this fantasy of Jacques or Pierre, like for example, or Abdul, like they date like Algerian and Tunisians in France. We're just using France as an example. They liked it. It was kind of exotic to them. They get smashed, and that'd be about it. They go back home. They weren't there for permanency. Whereas I was there like for a full year. I could see the people coming in and out. And I was like, whoa, what the heck's going on? So yeah, that's one of my experiences. Like in Europe, we can go to Japan and talk about that too. But usually this is the experience that the women have. They don't really integrate. It's just like they have their fun. They enjoy it. They get their story. They take their photos. Now they do their Instagrams. And they go back home.
Before we go on to Japan, brother, right? I want to share a video with brothers on the live stream chat. Just how foul, disgusting, and low intelligence, right, these passport sisters are. So recently, brothers, right, it became, let me put down mute there. So it became a trending news in the past couple of weeks. Multiple passport sisters, passport sis. I call them passport HOES. They ain't sisters, they HOESs. Okay, literal thoughts, right? They're in Ghana, standing on top of a slave castle, twerking for the ancestors. So I'm gonna play it for you, brothers, and I want to show you just how ridiculous and stupid and disgusting these passport sisters are. Let's go, brothers. One more time for the culture. You see, let me speak on that, Theo, right? I have a massive problem with BWs in the West. I don't care if I'm a black man saying that. I'm sick of it, brothers. Sick of the attitude, the toxicness, the twerking, the rudeness, the high body counts. They ain't got no culture. I'm sick of it, brothers. I am at my critical point. They are making us look bad. They're rude. They are uncontrollable. They have no direction. I'm sick of it, brothers. At this point, if you want a black woman as your wife, you got to go to Africa, Brazil, Colombia. Do not wife up a Western BW in the West. Speak on that, Theo. Tonight, brother, we're going in on these passport HOES. And if you're a sister in the live stream chat, press A1 in the chat. You can call in later on and you can defend your case. So if you're a black woman right now, press A1. You can call in and defend yourself. Go on, Theo.
What this kind of behavior is absolutely despicable and abhorrent. I cannot tolerate it whatsoever. And to think that they would do this actively makes absolutely no sense. It actually shows their total depravity. They have no accountability whatsoever. This is not at all tolerable. And if a passport bro would do this, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like, just throw them into the ocean. The fact that these women can do this, ABW can do this like this, it's just despicable. So I totally 100% condemn it. I think it's horrible. It's not tolerable. I don't know why they're even considering doing this, considering the legacy, the amount of pain and suffering. This is intolerable.
Absolutely, bro. And think of yourself, right? Think of the Asian people seeing this, the Latino people seeing this, the white people seeing this, the Arab people seeing this. They're probably thinking, why is there a commonality of women in our community disrespecting our ancestors, disrespecting black men, disrespecting the community? I mean, just what is going on, bruv? It is low intelligent actions that I'm seeing right in my screen now, brother. You know, what is the cause of this nonsense, bro?
I have no idea. I have no idea what brought them to this level. And in particular, they know better. That's the whole thing. They know better, particularly in the United States, not to do this kind of behavior. So you cannot make a community with these kinds of women. You cannot build with them. You cannot make a family with them. And in fact, a lot of guys listening to this, these are not girls you even like smash and trash. You don't do that. You avoid them 100%. They are not for you. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. You have to have 100% separation from these kind of trash mongers. I'm straight out honest with this. You cannot have this at all. These women do not deserve to be recognized for their existence. Straight out. So if women go out there and they're saying like this is acceptable, no. And the people who agree with this should be banned and removed as well. I cannot believe that they would do this. This is horrible. So again, guys, you got passport sisters who actually do this kind of crap. We're going to keep on going and talk about even worse points, but this is absolutely deplorable.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Shout out to Mr. Frank Harris for the $5 super chat. Brothers, please hit the support, the PayPal donation, the super chats. That'd be greatly appreciated. Passport sister, trash. This ain't it. Yes, indeed, man. These women are trash. Garbage. Thank you, bro, for the support. So, all right. So let's peel it back a layer, Theo, right? So they failed in France. They failed in Europe. So let me give my personal experience about how these passport sisters are also failures in Japan. I came from Japan in May and I saw these passport sisters there. They were lonely. No Japanese dude, no foreign dude was checking for them, to keeping it real. So they're failures in Europe. They're also failures in Japan as well. What was your experience with them in Japan, brother? These passport sisters with their weaves, with their oversized butts, all that nonsense. Break it down for us, bro.
To be honest, okay, I'll talk about passport sisters, and I'll also talk about Western women, both of them. Passport sisters in particular were usually ostracized. They were excluded. They were the ones who were the most quiet. So they would have their weave and their behavior, right? But nobody was talking to them at all. They were just super lonely. I remember, I was married to a Japanese woman, and we would talk about it sometimes. And we're like, nobody is actually talking to these women at all. Zero. And I'm like, do you blame them? Like, do you blame this at all? Like, look at how they're acting. And she's like, no, I don't blame it. Sometimes you would, like, again, I lived in Suginami-ku, which is in West Tokyo. And sometimes they would get angry with something and start going crazy and start yelling. They're yelling in English. They're acting a fool. And we're just looking at them, but we're like, don't you understand? Like, your behavior is not tolerable in Japan. And of course, the Japanese have their way of dealing with this, which is to ignore these people. And that's what they did. They just straight out like look at them and then just ignore and keep on going. And that was it. I mean, they would just sit there. They'd be loud and then they'd just be quiet. At work, sure, I worked with a few of them because sometimes I was an English teacher and there'd be an ABW there. She gets students, right? Yeah, I mean, because we're professionals like that, right? But after that, there'd be no communication with her. She wouldn't have really any communication outside. So most of these women were actually rather lonely, and what they were trying to do was talk to Western men. Sure, they would sometimes try to talk to Japanese men, but for the most part, they were like, again, they thought that black men were lame in the States. Oh God. So like Japanese men are like highly intelligent and a lot of them are nerds. So they thought, oh, we were nerds. Oh my God, the Japanese men were like super nerds to these guys, these women. So they would be complaining about them. And I'd be like, well, you're in their country. Like, if you can't take it, then there's a place for you. It's called Narita. It's an airport. You can go there and leave. And that's what they would end up doing. They would rarely last past 1 year. They were just out of the country. They wouldn't get any dates. They'd eat a lot. You know, they'd go out and have their fun. But they complained they couldn't find clothes in their size. I was like, yeah, because women here are properly sized. They couldn't get shoes the way they wanted. And they were basically ostracized. So nobody was paying attention to them. Again, a lot of their goals, what I saw was that they're trying to date Western men. Western men were not checking for them at all. In fact, we didn't want to acknowledge their existence. It was just kind of like we were on the train and we would see one, we're like, let's look away. Yeah, we didn't see you. Sorry, we're going to go to another train car. Like, we don't want to be in the same area as you because you're just not good. That's it. We're done with you. And we had, of course, you were in Japan. There's like river flowing of beautiful Japanese women everywhere. They're absolutely gorgeous. And ABW, Western women, but in particular ABW, could not compete with these chicks. Yep. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's not. No. So again, rarely did they speak the language. They couldn't understand the culture. They wanted people to be like them. And it was a real shame because I'm going to say this real quick. Again, my Japanese wife and I, we talk about this sometimes. ABW music is popular in Japan. A lot of people know who, like, for example, classic was Janet Jackson. People know who Janet Jackson is. They think her music is good. They think she's attractive. They think that it's a good music influence. If you look at J-pop, there's plenty of ABW influence inside of J-pop. It's actually rather big, and it's there. I mean, it's there. So they would say, like, we like your music, we like some of these things that you're doing, but we don't like how you act, and you don't respect our culture. So, what do we do with you? And then usually we just ignore. That's how it was.
Wow. Is there any black woman in the watching right now? If you're a black woman, press A2 in the live stream chat. I'm very happy for you to call in and debate us brothers. If you're a black woman, press A2. This would be an open discussion. Any Western woman, any black woman, you are free to call in, press A2 in the chat, and we'll get you on. So that kind of proves our point. These passport sisters are practically useless. They're not desired. and no one is actually checking for them. Now, we as Western brothers, we as Western men, we have status and we're wanted worldwide. When I was in Panama, they were checking for me. In Japan, they were checking for me. In Morocco, they were definitely checking for me in Morocco. In Germany, that's I gotta keep it PG. That's what I'll say, right? So, but when you hear the experiences of these Western women, these passport sisters, they are pumps and dumps only for particularly Italian men. I've noticed that, brother. Passport sisters, right, have some sort of love for Italy and Italian men. These Italian dudes are running through these
Mhm.
BWs and they ain't wifing them up. They ain't making kids with them. They are simply C dumpsters, keeping the
Yeah,
PG. Okay, completely
yeah.
down for us.
I'll actually talk about that. So, if you know Italy, also France, but particularly Italy, a lot of Italian men live at home with their family, even when they get married. So they're at home, like they're not really like. So maybe they'll leave, but usually they don't. So I mean, they're that's just the way their culture is. And then the amount of money that they're making, they're not making six figures. In particular, with the like with the welfare state, but also the taxation that they have there. So maybe I mean, a successful man, Italian man, like in his 40s, is probably bringing home around 60,000 euros a year after taxes. That would be really high level. That would be great. Well, that's not going to be up to par to what the ABW wants in terms of money. So the Italian men know this. I've talked with more than a few of them about this issue. So they know it, and but they have like they're kind of cool, right? Because they're Italian, so they know a lot about culture, food. They make these good jokes, right? And they know how to treat a woman. And what they would do is they'll literally just run through the ABW in particular. Also, English black women, also black Canadians. Uh, they didn't.
What?
They like, yeah, they like them too. And they would know that the women are going to be there for like a week or 2 weeks, and so they can get off with them, have their fun. They're going to go leave, and they're going to maybe they'll write an email or do something with them, but that's about all. And they're going to go off to the next one. And that's what they would do. They would just run through them. And I was always wondering, I was just like, that's like kind of interesting that that's happening. I was like, okay, it's not my business. But I saw that happen again, Italy, without a doubt. Um, Parts of Spain, with Madrid, Barcelona, also saw that kind of stuff going on. Spanish
Oh,
men going through the same thing, going through ABWs. Also, going more of the English because there's more Black English going there on holiday.
yeah.
So yeah, they just go through Black women, but they have no intention of marriage at all. Not with their situation. No, but a good time. They like the hips. They like the features. They go for it. Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Fives for the $5 super chat. I got five on it. Appreciate you both for the support. $5 says these ladies post habitually about astrological signs. Yes, indeed. So you notice that these passport sisters, right? They always have these traits, right? They wear weave, okay? They have long eyelashes, long nails. They're just like 3 or 4s. They obviously post about these signs. They're
Mhm,
feminists. They're low intelligence. Okay,
mhm,
uh, they just are dismal bunch of people. Okay, and these are the women that are actually ruining our community by worshiping Ice Spice, Cardi B, City Girls. I mean, last week, right, we just saw the BT Awards, a bunch of BWs acting like fools, twerking,
mhm,
with their long nails and looking like just disgusting people.
mhm,
So the whole world sees that, right? And they're thinking,
mhm,
I've never seen an Indian woman do that. I've never seen a Japanese woman do that. I've never seen an Arabic woman do that. But why
mhm,
do I constantly see these BWs acting a fool in these award shows. Do you want to speak on that a bit, Theo? Because that was embarrassing for the image of black people.
That actually really is embarrassing. That is extremely embarrassing. And again, I'm abroad. Men, other cultures, they see the ABW in particular acting this way, and they're pretty much disgusted by it. They think it's some sort of barbaric, animalistic way of acting, and they don't understand it. So, I mean, you got people criticizing American men for having saggy pants, right? Or wearing Jordans all the time, or not looking professional. A lot of these guys don't travel abroad. That's the way it is. They just don't travel abroad, and they're not really on TV that much. There's sometimes, but it's really, that image really isn't going abroad nearly as much as the ABW twerking on television. Her doing like Sierra, like that one. I remember talking to my Ukrainian friends about Sierra, and they were like, "What the hell is this? Like, she is a married woman. I would never be that way with my man if I were married." They're like, "This is disgusting," right? They don't understand it. Sierra was basically naked, and she's married. Like, what the heck? So a lot of cultures, when they're out there, they're looking at this only basically as the ABW as only a sex object, but not a desirable sex object. It's kind of like a one and done, but while holding your nose, get it done and don't talk about it again, kind of sex object.
Wow.
Really, that's really the way it is. And the ABW are projecting this image continuously. Nobody is promoting this. They do it themselves. Nobody says go out there and twerk like that, or go to Jamaica and like go sleep with teens, or go to like Haiti and go get ran through by a bunch of guys. Nobody is saying that. They're deciding this on their own with their own volition, then writing books about it, making YouTubes about it, and saying that this is normalized behavior. We're like, what the heck is wrong with you? I mean, honestly, I don't get it. So see it again and again. It's disgusting.
Absolutely, bro. Shout out to Mr. Eric Mogadishu for the $7.99 Australian dollars. We got an Australian brother in the building, man. Been ninja watching for a while and just subscribed. I'll join the Patreon next month. Thank you, bro, for the support. I appreciate you, Eric. Thank you, brother. So let's carry on. So with these ABWs, right? It's not just only the low value ABWs that have a little bit of money that can spend, right? We're seeing a trend of lawyers, doctors, surgeons traveling abroad, right, to find a husband and wife. However, the dudes they're going for, they don't care about their education, how much money they make. I saw a video last week about in the Dominican Republic, right? And the Dominican Republic dude told the lady, "Listen, stop throwing your money in my face, right? I don't care about that." And she was shocked. You see, so these women are getting passes in the West that we're allowing. This is why I'm saying that Western men are a bunch of weak dudes. We are allowing this nonsense. So you got dudes in abroad, right, in Brazil, Dominican Republic, that make less money than us, okay, and they don't accept nonsense. We make more money than them, and we're accepting all this crap. This ain't right, brother. Break it down for us, Theo, man.
Well, in the West, because it's so gynocentric right now, it's impossible to change the situation. I mean, they really do have the power for this, and the only way we can deal with it or try to change the situation is to stop simping, and to stop financially supporting it, and then to also stop giving attention to it. Like, that's directly like person to person. So don't give, if a woman has an account online for services, don't give any money for that. In fact, don't even click on it. Don't acknowledge it. Don't talk about it. And then if a woman needs some sort of help, financial help, you say you're strong and independent, you're on your own. And you got to hold the line there. And if she has a problem with Chad or Tyrone or something like that, you have to say, I'm sorry, but I don't have time for you. Just straight up. That's the way it has to be. That's the only way it has to be in order to get there to be change. Now, of course, if you go abroad, the man is the man. and it doesn't really matter how much money he's making, he's still the man. This is in particular outside the Western world. So he has to be respected. Now, when we go abroad, okay, for myself and other, like I lived in Russia, of all places. When I lived in Russia, the Soviet Union had just fallen. And so I was intensely, as a university student, I was intensely richer than most of the population. I never talked about my money one time. Never. Instead, I was really humble about it because I was like, you Russians have suffered so hard. And so what I'm going to do while I'm in Russia is I'm not only going to really make sure I learn your language and your culture and your political system so I can know it better, but I'm going to eat in your restaurants. I'm going to eat in your, I'm going to buy food from your supermarkets, and I'm going to live like a Russian person. So during that time, I could have gone to hard currency stores and used dollars in order to buy food because those hard currency stores were filled with food. I refused to do it, and I changed my money to rubles, and I bought the food in the supermarket just like normal Russians did, and I lost a lot of weight. That was the first thing. I most like 50% of the food that I bought in Russia was rotten when I bought it, and the other, if it wasn't rotten, we needed to eat the food in one day because the next day it would be rotten. So we had, but see, that was the way the Russians were living. And so when I had that way of living, I never thought about my status as being above someone. I was actually really humble because I knew what I had, and I was walking in the same footsteps as the Russian people, but I knew that I could leave and they could not. And I was looking at them, I was like, I am so fortunate, but I'm not gonna say that I'm better than you. I'm just gonna say that I'm happy to be with you. So I was humble about it. And I learned so much while I was there. And I did integration and I understood how the people acted. Okay. The Western women, they didn't do that. No. They used their hard currency. They went around thinking that they were better than the Russians. It was the same kind of problem that I had in Japan. We got Western women thinking that they were better because they were either military or they had a better background, or they thought they were making more money. Little did they know in their position, no, they were not making more money at all. Nope, that was not going on. In Brazil, again, I go there, I have a huge salary, right? So when I was in Brazil last time, I was making over $600,000 a year. And I stayed in a luxurious hotel, and it was wonderful. I mean, I got a great view. I ate great food. However, when I walked on the streets, I was a very normal person. And a lot of times I would go and eat dinner inside of people's homes because they'd have restaurants from their houses. And I would sit there and eat with them, and I would speak in Portuguese, broken Portuguese, but I would try. And they would speak to me in English, broken English, but we both tried. But we're actually talking with each other. I never told them how much money I had. I just brought a little bit of money with me, and I sat there. I talked to them about their lives. Well, you see, I acted like a lot of Western men act when they're abroad. They don't use their money first. They just sit there and talk, and they actually communicate, and they never say how rich they actually are because it's not a benefit. Now, what does the Western woman do? In particular, the ABW, when she's abroad, she uses her money. She uses her status. And she's like, I have these expectations. When you go abroad, you're not going to find men who are 6 feet tall. It's really true. You go outside the Western world, 6 feet tall men are rare.
Yep.
Then, like 5'9" is tall abroad. Like normally, like 5'6", 5'7", got lots of them. Then, like washboard abs, no, they don't have that. It doesn't happen. Then the next one, 6 figures. Are you kidding me? 6 figures? Ha! No way. You're not. There is no way in hell you got 6 figures. They're talking about university education. If you go a lot of places in the world, less than 10% of the population is university educated. In fact, a lot of places, less than 5% is university educated, and less than 80% is high school educated. So they have these expectations that they're going to get this guy. It ain't going to happen. This you can just forget about. It's not happening at all, because the guy that they want, that the same standards, is creme of the creme. This is like the highest level, and you have all the women in that country going for that guy. And her masculine way of thinking ain't gonna work. It just he has an abundance of amazing feminine women from which to choose. He ain't looking for a foreigner. The way it is, and that's what the ABW can't understand. That when she's abroad, she's just a foreigner. That's all she is a foreigner. She has to earn respect. She has to earn recognition from the natives. She has to earn her position at a table. And that comes with being humble and being communicative and being approachable. All areas where she fails. 100%. That crap is not happening. No. But you have, particularly black men, we have these traits. It's like built into us. So we're like, hey, let's talk. Yeah, let's have a good time. You want to talk? And then, while we're sitting there, people start saying like, hey, do you want to meet my sister? Do you want to meet my daughter? Like, I know this woman, 25 years old. She doesn't have any kids. Do you want to meet her? This is what normally happens. I don't even have to meet. I don't need a matchmaker or anything. I just sit there and be humble and respectful and intelligent. Get lots of dates.
Facts, bro. Let me read this PayPal donation real quick. Shout out to Mr. John, aka World Travel Citizen 06 on YouTube. Just joined and heard the brother say completely avoid those kind of women. Thanks for that message and the stream IP. Appreciate you, bro, for the support, Mr. World Citizen 06. Appreciate you, bro. So let's even pin it down a layer, brother. Okay, let's pin it down a layer. So with these passport sisters, right? Unfortunately, we can't stop them from traveling, because if it was up to the brothers, okay, let me keep it PG. Okay, so they're traveling. The problem I have is that they are bad influences to foreign women, bro. Right? These women will promote twerking, in foreign countries. The eyelashes, the long nails, the crazy weaves. I was in Japan and I saw chicks that were twerking. I'm like, why are you twerking? I saw chicks that had long fingernails, long eyelashes. They're copying the ABW. They're copying the passport sisters. Brother, how do we solve this issue? How do we stop passport sisters from poisoning the minds of foreign women with this hip-hop garbage and this fuck culture, Ice Spice, Nicki Minaj, all this nonsense, bro? What do we do?
Okay. All right. Most of those cultures have a filter to this crap automatically, because they have their family and their culture, and they're like, I don't want to be a baby mama. And they know the ABW is a baby mama. So they're like, I'm done with you. And they will, I'll admit, like, privately, some of these women will go off to the side and twerk. Yeah. They'll do some of these dance moves that ABW are doing. Yeah, they'll do it. But they don't get on Twitter or TikTok or like YouTube and make a video and post it. No, they just do it like privately. They have their laugh, or like, for example, they'll be at a bar and there'll be a group of them and they're talking. They do some kind of sexy move, but they already have their own sexy moves in their culture. They do it, but they don't post it like that. And they're like, okay, that's it. We had our fun, and then they go off and go home. So they know that if they act like the ABW or the Western woman, they will end up single mother, lonely and abandoned, and a burden for their family. And they do not want this. So they're like, they have pressure, but they know that they go out and find a good man, they will have a strong family and a strong legacy, and that they will continue being successful in their culture. and they look at the ABW and Western women in particular, and Western women and ABW in particular, and they're like, although they see some points, they don't want to be like these women, not like this. At the very most, like the real, I'll be honest, the real damage is Sex in the City. That is a significant damaging point. But as you see, one of them in Sex in the City became a single mother, and other women in other cultures are like, we don't want that point. We don't want that. But they also don't want to be like a community property like one of the women was. So they're kind of a mix between wanting to be kind of stronger and having their own shopping, but then having a husband. That's what they want. They're making a kid. That would be more in line with what they're actually desiring of an influence from the West. They do not want any degenerate behavior like becoming a single mother. No.
Absolute facts. So okay, so Kira, do you want to call in Kira? We got a okay, Kira, do you want to call in Kira? Press it. Let me know, Kira. I can bring you on if you want to debate us. This is an open discussion. I can tell you're a passport sister, you're a BW. We can have a communication, Kira. So do you want to call in Kira? Okay, no one ban her. Don't even my mods, leave her alone, Kira. I'm offering you the invitation for you to call in and debate an intelligent brother. Now, you're a passport sister. You're calling us, lame with passports. Okay, so
incels, like, please, yeah, right, yeah.
come on. I mean, so Kiera, I'm gonna give the phone line right to you, Kiera, and I want you to call in, and you must have your camera on. Okay, so look good. Get the weave on. Get it all popping. Okay. All right. So Kiera, okay, but do you want to call in Kiera?
Yeah, she's saying she's saying she's a solo traveler, which is like code word for international property being passed around. That's what it is. It's an international community property. That's it. So she's community property here. That's it. Like I see these women abroad. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can be community property. Nobody's gonna deal with you. That's about it.
Oh, I mean, Kira, now is your time to defend yourself. He's calling you community property. Now, if you want to call in Kira, let me know in the live stream chat, and I will give you the invitation for you to call in and debate. Theo, you must have your camera on. So if you want to look good, put your makeup on. I'm gonna give you time for that. We're gonna be here for up to 2 hours or a bit more. The floor is yours. And any other black women in the chat, please press a 2 in the chat if you want to call in. The phone line is open to debate us. Okay. Now's your time to shine, because we're looking for you passport sisters, man. Because you're comparing us passport bros to you guys. We're completely different. We're going out there to find wives and girlfriends, and you're going out there to sleep around and be a fuck. And that's not why I promote on this channel. So who's lost here? We're winning. We're in IT. Foreign women love us. Okay, we're Western men. Okay, we are adored all around the world. And you're simply pass arounds to French and Italian dudes. You're pass arounds to French and Italian dudes.
Well, also Jamaican, Haitian, also, yeah. Other cultures in Africa, they pass them around. Yeah, that's basically wherever they go. That's about as far as it is. They're either ostracized or passed around. That's it. I've rarely seen any of these have a long-term relationship. When I say long-term, like a month. It barely goes further than that. It just nah.
And you see, this is what I'm talking about, man. You see, you passport sisters, you're a bunch of frauds. I don't argue or debate with men. What are you talking about? You definitely have. You probably went through school, had professors, have a brother, have a dad, have male friends in male people in your lives. What are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about, man. When the fire comes, you don't want that smoke.
Mm-hmm.
When the heat heats up, when the oven's hot, okay, when the microwave is hot, y'all don't want that smoke. Y'all don't want that smoke. Because you know that you passport sisters are a bunch of frauds. You're a bunch of frauds.
Yeah,
come on, bro.
Let me say a little thing on this woman because she needs to get a better understanding. Passport bros can afford a new BMW. Okay. And if you could afford a new BMW, you can also afford a used Ford with 250,000 miles on it. But we don't want a used Ford with 250,000 miles. We want a new BMW, and we can afford one. So you're basically out on the street yelling at us in our new BMW saying that we can't afford you, the old, broken, used Ford. And then we laugh at you. In fact, that's not the best it is. We just basically ignore you because what we have is so much better than what you could ever possibly be. So, girl, nah, man. Keep on going with what you're doing. Keep on traveling. You'll get, you'll find what is in the end, boxed wine, cats, and dying alone.
Shout out to Mr. Destined Dash for the $5 super chat. Theo is right. My Filipina tells me she don't want her child to have a broken family and always assures me she will not break up the family. And amazing super chat there. But you come to the West, right? These ABWs, these Western women, these passport sisters, they hold being a single mother like a badge of honor. To them, it's like collecting stripes. I'm a single mother. I'm independent. I don't need no man. That's not happening in abroad. So that's why these foreign dudes, they don't respect Western women. They're saying that what's going on? How can you hold being a single mother as a badge of honor? I'm strong, I'm independent. I'm raising 5 boys by myself. Man, get the hell out of here, man. Get the hell out of here.
No, they look at this as being utter chaotic, absolute chaos. They do not want this. And like the multiple children with the multiple baby daddies, So, I mean, I'll give you an example of this. Like, former Soviet Union, got Russia and Ukraine and Belarus. There are single mothers there. Yeah, it's true. However, what usually happens is that she becomes a single mother with one child, and then basically she never reproduces again. That's it. And she may get remarried, or may have a long-term relationship, but she isn't being a mass breeder, right? She has respect for herself. She gets a job, she continues on, she accepts the loss that she has in her life, and she moves on. You have ABWs who are just like, oh, okay, well, I made one kid with one guy, and go get another one, go get another one, go get another one. And then they're going around and saying that men ain't ish. And I'm looking at other cultures, and I'm like, man, they don't do that. They don't want to be like that. They don't want to have that kind of behavior. You're having this behavior. We're done with it. So passport bros were like, hey, we are not dealing with you. Hold on. I want to say this and deal with this one comment. You said Rocky in real time said lots of passport bros be abandoning their kids. No. And let me talk about this real quick. Everybody listen in. If you are behind in your child support, you cannot get a passport from the State Department. So if you have a warrant for your arrest, they won't allow you out of the country. And firstly, they know about it, and then of course you cannot. If you're behind child support, you're not going abroad. They will not allow you to have a passport. So the idea that passport bros are behind on payments is absolutely ridiculous. Most passport bros have no children. They are not only single, middle class, and have no children, but most of us make well over $80,000 a year. We have no debt, and we have the ability to work abroad. We either work abroad from, like, we have our job in the West and we live abroad, or we have a job in that country itself. So saying that we have kids abroad like that, that's absolutely ridiculous. No, but that's totally funny. Like, it does not happen. I just laugh at that. This is ridiculous. Yeah, you can't travel abroad if you're behind on child support. It's not gonna happen.
Thank you, Brian. And I know a brother who went through that personally from America, and Theo speaking facts say if you're behind on child support, you can't go abroad. So can we please get the likes up, brothers? Please get the likes up to at least 100 likes. Got over 140 people. Please get the likes up. Shout out to Descending Dash for the $5 super chat. Also, she said she's ready for a child whenever I'm ready, as long as I take responsibility and not leave her. She does not want to be a single mother. That's see when you compare the mentality of a foreign chick to a Western chick. I mean, any man with a brain that has some sort of intelligence is going for a foreign chick. You passport sisters, you BWs, you Western women, you have lost. You have lost. Break it down for us, Theo.
Oh, entirely 100%. It's the game is over. It is gone. The ship has sailed. The passport bros have won, and this is only going to continue. And we're going to have numbers and numbers of them, quite a number of them, constantly. So you have again totally failed. This is actually utterly ridiculous and funny. So we are winning. We're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on studying IT, making our businesses, and we're going to go abroad and make real families. And they're going to be away from the community, and we're going to be very successful. Then you go to Japan. There are I had quite a few former military black male friends in Japan. They were all married to Japanese women. All of them. They all had kids. They're all happily married. That's the big thing. They were all happily married. All of them. So the thing that, like, again, ABW, she was on the airplane back home. I rarely saw like an ABW in a relationship. I never saw her with a Japanese man. It didn't happen. But yeah, sometimes she would have like a pookie with her from the military base, and she got her claws on her. He couldn't get away from her, so if he could, he'd be with a Japanese woman. So that happened. Yeah, I saw that. But I mean, outside of that, that's not really happening. So good try, but yeah, it's not happening.
No one answer Kira's questions unless she calls in. You ain't gonna come up here asking questions in our live stream chat without calling in. That's not how it runs. The way I run my channel, if you want to, if you have any questions, you call in, Kira. So I'm gonna wait for you to call in 5-10 minutes, and that's it. And bring your sister friends too, because we can debate all night. I got my caffeine tablets. I got my caffeine next to me. I'm good, bruh. Okay, let's get it cracking. So before I even let me read the super chats. Okay, hold on, Theo. Shout out to Mr. I am Jules for the $10 super chat. Thank you, bro, for the support. Keep giving men the right mindset and tools to get what they want. Support the folks making their dreams become real. Thank you, Theo. Thank you to all the brothers for making brothers achieve the dreams. Appreciate you, Jules, for the support. Much appreciated, bro. Shout out to Mr. Swave Prince for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Swave Prince. To give some facts to the brothers, as a man with 3 children, we travel a lot with no drama. Don't do us like that, brothers. Okay. Awesome, bro. Thank you for the support, Swave. Much appreciated. So let me now break down just why the passport bros is better than the passport sisters. On my channel right now, me and Theo, we're teaching IT every week. We encourage your brothers to get education, get certs, become a great man, dress well, be healthy. I mean, Theo even has conferences every single year about IT. Show me a passport sister doing that. Show me a passport sister teaching her fellow sister girls, okay, IT, or having conferences about IT or some sort of educational achievement. They ain't doing that. Can someone please show evidence in amongst the jury in the eyes of God, hand on Bible right now? Crickets.
Yeah, they have no ability to actually go there for a sustained period of time and integrate successfully with the culture. It does not happen. No, I mean it would take quite a sustained effort. Whereas every time I'm abroad, I see Western men integrating with the culture and marrying, in particular the Europeans. But I mean, I think the passport bros are just now really starting this, but it's been a tradition for Black military men for at least the last 40 years. This is nothing new. They stay there. They don't want to return. because their lives are so much better abroad, and the women are so much better. So like they're like, what do I have to gain in the West? They don't want to come back. I have to agree with this. So yeah, I mean, I'm in the States again right now, but I mean, I'm going back abroad pretty soon. It'll be good. But I mean, when I go abroad for a minimum of 2 months. The next one's probably going to be 6 months to 10 months. I really want to go long.
Oh wow,
So
that's a long one. That's a long one.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I can do it very much sustained. So we learn the language, we adapt their culture, we do things in their way, and you see the Western women, they don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Rare. It does happen sometimes, but it's rare. You see, like I saw it in Japan. Sometimes Western women like go on what the Japanese men want. They transform into that, and they get married to Japanese men. But these are almost always like you know, they're really cute Slavic or some Canadians. Like women who don't have Western women who don't have attitudes. But it's more likely if Japanese men marry abroad, they're going to marry Vietnamese, Cambodian, Laos, Thai. That's where they go. And Philippines. That's actually where they do it. There's well over 15,000 international marriages like that in Japan with Japanese men. So yeah, they're just not checking for ABW like that in Asia in particular.
Absolutely, man. This has been a great live stream so far. So I'm going to open up the phone lines, as you know, in a bit. So once again, book your IT consultation with me to get into IT. Join the Patreon as well to get intel on the foreign woman. Okay, how to get down in the bedroom, more activities around foreign woman, IT, traveling, etc., etc. Please make sure you hit the super chats tonight and the PayPal. If you can't call in, please PayPal or super chat your questions, and of course cop the merch as well to show some support. Theo isn't wearing his hoodie, unfortunately, his international passport hoodie, but he will be wearing it next time, hopefully.
I have to really turn on the air conditioning for that. It's Texas. It's really hot, so I have to have like quite a number of fans going. I got 3 fans right now and an air conditioner locally to this room, so yeah, I need to be like 50 degrees.
Oh man, Theo, shout out to Theo, man. So let's open up. Let's open up. You want to say any closing comments before I open up the phone lines?
Yeah, I got Rocky in real time saying I got permanent residency. So do I. It's called an Eijikane. I've got Eijikane for Japan. I can use it whenever I want to go back and forth between the country. I go back as a citizen, almost as a citizen. So getting an Eijikane is pretty easy if you get married to a Japanese woman. So, like, she's talking like, oh yeah, I've got something. Most Western men who stay in Japan over 5 years, they have Eijikane. They have permanent residency. That's no big deal. It shows the inexperience with it. Just, oh yeah, there's something. No, it's very normal. Yeah.
I don't see Rocky in my live stream chat. I don't know who that is. Rocky in real time.
Yeah,
where is he?
Yeah, it's Rocky in real time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's open up the phone lines and let's get some women to call in. So if you're a female, if you're a Western woman, if you're a feminist, call in. If you're a passport sister, if you're a woman, just call in. Come and debate us if you have a problem with what we're saying, because we're calling you out, and we are going to call you out every single week, and in a goddamn thing you're going to do about it.
The person saying you got it without getting married. It's like, yeah, because you couldn't get married. That's the point. No wonder you couldn't get married. It's not surprising. Yeah. No, so go ahead and call in. I have no problem with this. Yeah, we see them all.
Hard. We're going hard on these chicks because they're acting like fools. Shout out to Mr. Passport OG for the 320 yen. Appreciate you, bro. Theo. Anataho Nihon.
I'll say it. He shouldn't say anatawa. Just say 日本語を喋ることができると思わない人がいる。英語圏が便利ですね。He says of course there are people here who don't think that you can speak in Japanese. The permanent residency is rather beneficial or convenient, isn't
it? Appreciate the support, Passport OG. Thank you, bro. Great Japanese there for your wife, and show me a passport sister Show me a passport sister that can speak Japanese like that.
Mm-hmm.
Please, can someone show me that? Crickets.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah,
But
that
she'll
was
tell
pretty
you,
good.
hold on, but she will tell you about her body count. She will tell you about, that crazy night she had getting banged looking at the Eiffel Tower. She will tell you about how she did a couple dudes in one night. She will tell you about how, she 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 did some freaky stuff in Brazil to some dude. She'll tell you about she was in Jamaica, right? And
Mm-hmm.
some tall 6'5" dreaded dude with 8 abs just absolutely destroyed her guts to her friends. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on, brothers. you know these passport sisters, these Western women, these feminists, these domestic women, they're absolute clowns. Shout
Yeah.
out to Mr. J Remo in the building for the £5 super chat. Appreciate you, J Remo. Happy July 4th, Theo. I was going to gift you some tea to celebrate, but I heard you had a little trouble with that a few hundred years ago.
That's right. That's right. So you gift us you gift me some tea. IP here is going to tax me, and then I'm going to start shooting them. So
Are you referring to the war, right? The
the tea incidents. Of course, part of the reason why we declared independence was because of taxation with the English. It's all water underneath the bridge. We jab each other about this all the time, but we're actually like friends. Like the English and the Americans were like, "Hey, what's up?" So we go ahead and jab. I think it's pretty funny. I gotta admit, the English have been incredibly important for my career internationally. They were fundamentally important, so I'm always indebted to them, and they really taught me a lot about how not to think about race. They're like, we don't care what color you are, just do your job, and they meant it. So I really got partial liberation with the English. So I really like them. I always thought they were wonderful people. Horrible food, but yeah, wonderful people.
Oh, that's the worst backhanded compliment I've heard in the past 5 years, bro. You broke my heart there. Shout out to Mr. Eric Mogadishu for the $2.99 Australian dollar super chat. Thoughts on SCCM and AD as your AD?
Oh, why are you doing that on AD? What are you doing? Like, okay, so why are you using it? Give us a chat about how you're using it. That's what I want to know.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, so call in, brothers. Any females in the chat, call in. Any brothers want to call in, but we're going to prioritize the females. Any woman, now you can call in. We have over 140 people. This is an open discussion to debate. Brothers calling as well. Anyone calling, it's all good. But let's get some women here as well. It's an open discussion for both men and women. I am never. It's not a safe space. This is what see the safe spaces, these liberal terms. You're a bunch of clowns, man. You Western women are a bunch of what the hell is a safe space? I mean, grow up, man. I heard that like 15 years ago, bruv. Come on, man. Safe space, being safe, platform. Shut the hell up, man. What is this? This isn't BuzzFeed. This isn't CNN. This is hardcore, real content. So don't come up here talking about safe space. All right, this isn't some liberal frigidity nonsense, man. I'm sick of it, Theo, bruv.
I'd say, okay, so let's go meet in Brazil, Sao Paulo. Let's go meet there, or let's go to Thailand, or let's go to Slovakia, Czech. Let's go talk over there, because I can go fly out there. We can have some fun. We can. You want a safe space, and go right there, because that's my element. So I have no problem being there. So let's go abroad, and let's see how well you're doing. And we'll talk about a safe space is actually being a space where you're ignored. You're going to be so spaced, it's going to be like the silence will be deafening. So go ahead, do it, and see what happens.
And this is how you know these West women and these passport sisters are very spoilt. you'll never hear a Japanese chick or Panamanian chick or even a Moroccan chick say safe space. I need a safe space. What are you talking about? Safe
Mm-hmm.
space? Get the hell out of here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nonsense. Shout
Yeah.
out to Mr. Donovan Morrison for the $2 super chat. Passport sisters fell because they are way too entitled. Yes, indeed, man. West women as a whole, they're too entitled. You want to break it down
Well,
for us, Phil?
the natives abroad can rarely adhere or meet their expectations. And I knew this again when I was in Europe. Um, I saw how much the men were making, their salaries, and a lot of Western men do not get married. They get a certain salary. They really can't be fired, so they have that same job forever, and they enjoy their holiday, and they may live at home or with their parents, so they might get an apartment later on. But they're really not thinking about making like six figures after taxes, which is not going to happen. And so, you know, you're talking about marrying one of these. I just sit there and I'm like, no, man, it's not gonna, it ain't gonna work. But you go ahead and try. I'm not discouraging you. Go out there, make those men happy. They love it. Well, go ahead and do it. But as you see the guys who are getting married, it's from the Nordic countries. They're marrying Thai, right? Or Germany. Some of them are marrying women from other countries also, right? So they're going the English. Asia, they've been doing it in South America, particularly Asia, been doing that for like, well over 100, 200 years right now, right? So they already have their history. They know it's up. They're successful going out and making those families. So yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to discourage you. I'll laugh, or actually I have other things to do, but I know you're not going to be successful, but go ahead and try.
There you go, man. And like Bo J said, safe space. Next time they tell us to use pronouns. If you tell me to use pronouns, that's a permanent ban on site. That's a permanent ban on site. Don't bring that nonsense on my channel, bruv. Ain't no pronoun or noun pros, whatever you want to call yourself. That's not fine over here. Shout out to Mr. Sid Osley for the $4.99 super chat.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you both for the support.
Yeah,
Much appreciated, brother.
One of my students, very good. He's definitely improving himself. It's just a question of time before he becomes a passport bro.
Salute.
Yeah.
Do any passport sisters, Mrs. Kira, do you have any students? Are you mentoring someone? Are you teaching someone IT? Are you teaching your fellow sister how to code, how to travel abroad safely? Or are you all about running through dudes and telling the story to the next passport sister, man? I mean, this is why it's time for you to just call in, Kira, and speak your case. Because right now, it's a one-sided argument and you're losing right now. Go on, Theo.
Let me explain this again. She just started saying this. Yes, Kira just said this. Theo, these women overseas will take all your money as they should. Sprinkle, sprinkle. That's what Western women do. The women abroad, they don't do this because we don't use our money first. That's what Western women do, particularly the ABW. You go abroad and use your money and you try to get some sort of status or desirability because that's the best you can do because nobody wants you, right? So when we go abroad, again, as I said, I was just in Brazil making over $600,000 a year. I never used my money once. That's it. I sat and talked with people, had dates on end, pretty much like 3 or 4 times a week. Dated a German woman there, wonderful woman, had a great time. I just want to say, we do not use our money like that. We know better. Passport bros know better. What we do is we lead with our intelligence, our charm, our ability to speak the language locally, our being humble with the natives, our cultural understanding, and our ability to integrate and actually see a common message and a common way of communication with the natives. That's what we do. And when we do that, we do things like get married, like I was before. All right. So we get married, or we have children, we have legacies, we're happy. And that's what passport bros are doing. And we've been doing it for a long time. It's just that we have right now, you have black men doing it. That's why you're angry. Englishmen doing it forever.
Yep. Samantha and Kiera, how much do y'all weigh and how tall are y'all? Let's open up that discussion there. Are y'all even attractive? Do you have some sort of charm to y'all? Because I think y'all busted. Y'all busted. y'all a bunch of ducks. how much do y'all weigh and how tall are y'all? You know, because I want to talk on the live stream chat about passport bros. I'm calling you out now. How much do y'all weigh? How
Mhm.
tall are y'all? Are you feminine? Are you submissive? Are you coachable? I'm giving you the platform to call in and speak your case. So while we wait for our first female caller, Mr. Fives, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you know a troll? You
Yeah.
confirm.
The
Thank you, bro. Let me go on, bro.
the biggest woman I ever dated abroad was like what 5'6" and maybe 110 pounds. In all the years that I've been abroad, that's about the biggest. The last woman I dated in Brazil was like 5'4". She's probably 100 pounds wet.
There you go, man.
Yeah,
There you
she
go.
she was Afro Latina, absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I had a great time
Oh,
with her. Yeah, I love dark Latinas.
oh,
Oh my goodness.
Phil, you had a great time with her, huh?
Mm, it was good. I'm talking. But again, the way she treated me, the food we ate, the conversations, walking outside, it was great. I learned so much about Brazil from her. She was just a wonderful woman.
Awesome, awesome. What's going on, Fives? How you doing, bro?
Doing real good. How you doing, IP? How you doing, Theo?
I'm good. I'm having a great time, actually. I'm glad to do this show because I've been talking this way for a long time. So yeah, it's fun.
Yo,
Man,
hold on, bro. Who the hell is Rocky, bruv? I can't see him on my live stream chat. Is this some sort of joke that y'all are playing behind my back? Who's Rocky? Who's that,
Um,
bruv?
looks like an ABW who's having problems.
Okay,
Normal. Yeah.
okay. Carry on, Fives.
so I did have some talking points, but I've been looking in the chat. I'm not gonna, out of respect for your chat, I'm not gonna reread what has been said, but paying attention to it. You know what, ladies? If you're still listening, let me tell you a story. So I went to Panama for a study abroad, right? I was there with the University of Florida's weekend MBA program, and we did some presentations to some companies, to some rooms that you will probably never get into. But I digress. Um, but I was there, and I got the receipts to prove it. And at the end of it, I was in an Airbnb, and this girl was just sitting there, lonely, bunch of beers there. So I just picked one up. And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm chopping up with her. I want you to take a wild guess how much effort it took for me to get from sitting down and chatting to extracurricular activities and a night on the town and all that, all in the same night, by the way. It took me a $3.77 Uber and Spider-Man, which was free. That is it. That is all the effort it took. It has never, ever, ever been that easy for me in the States.
Hmm.
Ever. In my entire lifetime.
Yeah.
So everything that y'all are saying is some bull. I have been in the military. I have been in the university system. I have been to like easily over 16 countries. Y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm sorry. Just this is just complete fallacy and farce in this chat. Just say, oh, okay. Oh my God. Again, IP, I'm trying so hard because this is your platform and your show, and I don't want to disrespect it, but you would think she would know that to get into the University of Florida, that it's not cheap.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. So you're doing pretty high level action there. I think that's rather remarkable. I've got a few other friends who have do like international MBAs, and they're black as well, black men, and then they would do international like meetings or like internships in South America. They're saying the exact same thing. They had girlfriends. They were totally happy. They were in love. They were having a great time. Um, again, I'll give you this one last point. I did it for zero money. So um, I dated a Brazilian Japanese woman when I was also in Brazil. And the way we met out, I was sitting there in the gym. I was, sweaty and doing all my exercises. And she just looked at me, walked straight over, and like, so you're an American. She started talking, right? And started having some fun with me. I'm fluent in Japanese, so I just flipped to Japanese. I knew she was half Japanese. I could tell from her smile. And we just had the greatest time talking. And she said, okay, like I said, why don't we meet up like for dinner? And there's a barbecue place down the street. She said, okay, fine. So she got dressed, went to work real quickly, left work early, went back to her apartment, got herself all glammed up, and then met me at the restaurant afterwards. We had a great time.
It's that simple, man. So Kira and Samantha, are y'all gonna call in? Okay. This is an open invitation for you guys to call in, and any other woman that's watching this channel right now, to defend yourself and the Passport Sisters. So Amari and Entech One, can you turn the cameras on in the background to confirm you're not trolls? Thank you, brothers. You are confirmed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me bring in Mr. Amari. What's going on, Amari?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic, brother. How you keeping, man?
Oh, doing great. Doing wonderful. Loving this stream. You guys are definitely chatting it up and like mentioning things that are really going on in this country and all over the world.
Thank you very much, bro. What's your thoughts on the Passport Sisters?
So yeah, it's upsetting. I mean, it's like we do all this work to try to like motivate people to, get on the right track and succeed. And then like some people go out there and just like ruin everything, and it's all about our image. Like you said, like us as Black people, we always have to be on the right track, because when we make a mistake, they always judge us as a race. Whereas in like other people that don't have those issues, like a white guy does something, mass shooting, they forget about it the next day. But us, a Black guy goes and robs a store. Next thing you know, they're looking at us, they're looking at all of us as the same. Oh, all Black people steal. So like, we have to really be like, when we go, especially when we go overseas, we're in another country. We represent our whole race in another country, because there's not a lot of us in other countries. So when we go overseas, we really represent our whole race. So we have to be on our super A game, our super like A game, and represent us the right way. So it's completely upsetting seeing like stuff like that, and just like people going and just like spreading the same nonsense we see here and taking it over to other countries and foreign lands and spreading the same thing. Yeah.
Facts. BWs are a joke. I'm gonna say ABWs, the hood rats, the Keishas, they're a joke. And we gotta do something about them before it gets out of control. When I saw the BET Awards and I saw how these so-called women were acting, I'm like, what is this, man? What is this? Show me a Japanese chick doing that. Oh my god, that's impossible, bruv. You can't even imagine a Japanese chick doing what those ABWs just did in the BET Awards, man. Show me a Mongolian chick doing that. show me a what's it called, a Korean chick doing that. Can you sisters please stop embarrassing us? I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Put your hands up, please. I'm asking you. Stop embarrassing the race, please. So, Queen Boo, if I'm going too hard on you, Passport Sisters, now's the time for you to call in.
Yeah, I just saw what you said. Like, we're intimidated by Passport Sisters. Like, why would I be intimidated by people I ignore? like, go right out ahead. I mean, because I see you guys lonely all the time abroad, so like nobody talks to you. So okay, go ahead. I know how far this is going to go. I don't even care. I mean, they got their attitude. I remember the last time again I was in Brazil. I went down for breakfast in the hotel, right? And they're always like, okay, ABW sitting by herself, not anybody there, just eating her breakfast alone in silence. And I would go get my breakfast, and inevitably people from the hotel would call me over, like, "Oh, Theo, you're down for breakfast, let's talk." So I would always be called over, and I always was eating with someone. I never had to eat alone. And we just had a great time talking. It was wonderful. We just sit there and yap. I learned some more Portuguese, and then I'd be going on my way. ABW, no, alone, always.
Facts.
Silence. It's like, bye, sister.
I mean, can I chime in real quick, please? I'm sorry. This is just bugging me because, again, I'm seeing these comments again. I know, but I just can't ignore it. Bro, call in. I would respect you much more for at least having the stones because I disagreed with IP and Theo before. I've called in and I've been wrong before. At least jump on the platform, bro. Like for real. Like y'all can't even that's how weak y'all's position y'all. Y'all can't even go in public and stand and be wrong and just take your L and take your. We've taken plenty. Everybody in this chat, everybody in this room right now has taken the shot on the chops. That's your pound of flesh you got to pay to make it in this game. And yet y'all are talking all this junk and can't even have the gall, the stones, like what we got stones. You don't even have the stones to come on and defend your position. Make a logical argument with facts, statements, and statistics and debate it. Like put it against the grain, stress test it.
Yep.
I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that, IP.
Well, they can't show the receipts. They can't like be abroad and be like, oh, yep, I'm living here abroad. I'm working remote. And then here's my foreign husband, and I'm and his family. His family loves me, and we have children together here in this country. Okay, most Western women, that's rare. Outside the Western world, that's rarely going to happen. But in particular, ABW, I mean, theoretically it can happen, but I mean, it's like two like black holes coming together. It's rare. Like, I mean, we have to have special instruments to detect it. It just doesn't happen that often. I mean, it is what it is.
Let me read the super chat, and I'm going to bring in N-Tech, and I'm going to bring in Mr. Swave Prince after, and then Andrewski Gordon after. So one by one. Shout out to Mr. MEB for the $4.99 super chat. I was looking at stats, and I saw that only 3% of middle-class black men marry black women. No other group struggles this much to seduce their men. Damn.
That is actually rather low. That's actually kind of weird because Kevin Samuels always quoted blacksdemographics.com, and 77% of upper class black men marry black women. If they marry black women. So I don't know what the total number of all upper class black men. I'm a part of upper class black men, of course, in the country. No, I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm definitely not going to marry a Western woman at all. Not like do we marry? Ain't going to happen. So that's, I don't know, man. I just say go for the integrity of the stream. Maybe go verify that just to make sure.
Also,
Awesome,
I don't think that study ever verified if it's Black American women or Black just women in general. Because people forget that the biggest Black demographic outside of Africa is not the U.S., it's Brazil. So,
Thank you, bro. Let me bring in Mr. N-Tech One. What's going on, N-Tech One? How you doing, bro? N-Tech One, what's up? We can't hear you, bro. We can't hear you. N-Tech, you there? Mayday. Nope. If you pop N-Tech and call back in, we cannot hear you, brother. Let me bring in Mr. Swave Prince next. What's going on, Swave Prince?
Yo, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
We're good.
Good, brother. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing excellent, man. Out here in Cali, Colombia, just enjoying life.
Cali.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff, bro. What's your thoughts on the Passport Sisters, brother?
When it comes to the Passport Sisters, it's like eventually they ain't gonna have no choice but to leave the planet. You know, 'cause we're gonna be gone. You know, and all they're gonna be stuck with is, I wouldn't say the Ray Rays and Pookies, because I mean I've been there, I get it. You know, but the brothers that ain't trying to do nothing with themselves, the brothers that ain't never be nothing, they never gonna go anywhere. They're just gonna be stuck in their same thing. Now I wish everybody would jump on YouTube. Everybody will meet somebody that can help push them to the next space in their life, so they know they don't have to do any of that. You know, so they know they ain't got to chase gold chains and cars and all of this crap, when they could just move across seas and be appreciated for who they are and what they are. You know.
Yes, indeed, bro. Yes, indeed. So, is anything else you want to add upon that, Sway, before I bring in a new caller?
Actually, me and you was supposed to chop it up like a year and a half ago, man. We was supposed to do a live together.
Ah, send
Yeah,
me a DM on IG, bro. I think I remember you now. If you DM me on IG, bro, we'll catch up, brother.
yeah, most definitely.
Hey, thank you, bro. Stay on the line, brother. Much appreciated. Let me bring in Mr. Ntech1. What's going on, Ntech?
Yeah, hello everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Loud and clear, bro.
Okay. So the woman in the chat, I wanted to give a response to the whole money thing. If you go into another country and you're leading with your wallet and you're not looking for the good qualities in a woman, of course you're gonna find the occasional bar girl that's gonna try to take you for your money. But it's not always like that. I mean, every woman want your money anyways. But would you rather have a woman that's gonna listen to your leadership, that's gonna cook for you, that's going to want to have your kids, and give her your money, or give someone that doesn't appreciate you, someone that's always arguing with you, someone that doesn't want to listen to your money? So it's like pick your poison. And I actually went to the Philippines this year. I went to the Philippines and I met someone there, and it's a total opposite from the Western women. I mean, I was there, so it's totally opposite.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All right, thank you, bro. Much appreciated, Ntech1.
yeah,
Let
no
me
problem.
bring in Mr. Andrew Ski Gordon, and hold on there. Shout out to Mr. Heem's hotspot for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Peace, brothers from other mothers. I'm relatively new to this movement. Thank you both. Welcome to the movement, brother. I accept you and embrace you with open arms, brother. Thank you both for the support. Go on, Andrew Ski. What's up, bro?
Hey, how's it going, man? I was gonna ask this I was gonna ask this question to you in your class the other day, but I didn't have time to ask it. I want to actually also ask this question to any BWs that are in the stream. Does anybody know who the woman who has the name of Sarah Bartman? Does anybody know who that woman is?
I know she is. Yes, the woman with the big butt many years ago.
Yes. My thing is, how do you twerk? This is going to the BWs in the stream. How do you twerk on somebody's grave, and one of your very ancestors was being put on display for all the Europeans to see, and they made fun of? This woman would be disgusted today to see that. And that's what, and I'm saying this actually because I'm very frustrated, because I actually know the history of this. How do you stand on a grave? You're basically standing on this woman's grave and doing the very same thing that actually put her to stress and she died. I really want y'all BWs to think about that. You say it's for your ancestors. One of your ancestors was actually on the stage, and you're doing the very same thing that caused her to lose her life. She was stressed the hell out after all that she went through in her life. She did not want anybody looking at her body the way that she did. And now you are over here twerking you're going to every other country, going to every other place in the world, and you're showing these people, you're doing the Europeans don't even have to do it no more. It's really, you're doing it now. And that's the thing that really gets to me. One of your ancestors was being put on a stage, and a stage that she didn't ask to be on.
Can I chime in, brother?
Of course.
So when it comes to these females that's doing all of this nonsense, they do it for what? Attention. So what they've been getting all over YouTube, right? So now they've gone basically viral for doing the wrong thing. So now they can come out and do more wrong things and allow other women, black women, to do more wrong things to get more attention. Correct? So I say, bro, just let them die out. You know, just let them do what they're gonna do, because at the end of the day, we leaving. All of us gone. You know, most of us, we either leaving or getting ready to go. You know, so at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do. The United States is what they call quote unquote free country only for women. You know, understand what I'm saying? So when you take into consideration all of those factors, there's nothing we can do about it. We can tell them to do things all day long, but they out there doing that. Obviously, they're not even listening to their daddy, their granddaddy. They're not respecting their ancestors, none of that. So there's nothing that we can do at all, but just let them do what they do until it no longer affects anybody.
These women will not listen to a single man, whether it's their dad, their brother, any man in their family. They don't want to listen to him, and I know that from personal experience. The feminism is going so bad that they don't want to listen to a single man, you know. And I blame the powers that be for that. And I'm not going to go too deep into it. We know who does certain controls. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep it to myself. But something ain't right, man. So hold on there, Swave Prince. Rocky in real time. Can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you are a human being and not a robot? It's just okay. You confirmed Rocky in real time. Let me bring in Rocky in real time. So he might disagree. So y'all buckle up. What's going on, Rocky?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right. So first and foremost, I'd like to just give you some context as to who I am. I'm an expat. I live in Brazil. I live in Bahia. I've been living here for about 3 years. Very engrossed in the culture. Fluent in the Portuguese. I travel back and forth to the States a lot. I also have a YouTube channel, and on my YouTube channel, I teach people how to be expats. There's no Cash App in the bio. There's no link in the bio. I just give you free game when I'm able to make these videos, right?
Okay,
I also am a software engineer, senior software engineer, for 2 companies. I'm doing the overemployed thing. If you haven't checked it out, go check out the blog on Reddit, overemployed.
Right,
I just wanted to give y'all some context, just so y'all know who I am. The thing that I'm saying, right? And I'm not gonna go as far out as saying,
speak louder for us, please. Speak louder.
Can you hear me?
Brother.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Much better. Carry on, bro.
Yeah. I'm having microphone problems. That's why I asked in the beginning. But anyway, the thing I'm saying is, and the point I'm trying to get at is, and what I actually mentioned in the chat is, a lot of the passport bros and passport sisters or whatever are 2 sides of the same coin. I live here. Let me explain. Because I live here. I see the things that go on here. Like the news, when I go out in person, I see both sets of people come out here for fun, right? I see a lot of the debauchery and the foolishness that both sides perpetuate, right? And I'm just saying, the one thing that I will give the women and whatnot is that they're more discreet about their shit. Like,
language, bro. Please keep it PG and no swearing.
All right, I'm gonna keep it PG. I'm not saying all of them are. But by and large, they're a bit more discreet than the men when it comes to going overseas and having the fun and whatnot. And I'm not saying that all people who identify as passport bros do this, but I'm saying a large portion of them who identify as passport bros, like, all they talk about is women. Like, a large portion. I didn't say all, before the all police come after me. I said a large portion of them. And we are supposed to be men. We are supposed to be the ones who bring and restore order. We should shift the because I see on a lot of pages, including this one, I see a lot of conversations about women. If people want to transition into moving abroad, whether it be Thailand or this and that, let's keep the conversation there.
Let me come in here, bro. Hold on. Shout out to Destined Rush.
Let me land on my point. Because I'm almost done.
Hold on, bro. Shout out to Destined Rush for the $2 super chat. Just getting my IT stuff in order, leaving in 5 years. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Fantastic, brother. Well done. And thank you for the support. So let me counter your point there, Rocky, before I let you finish your point there, right? So you're talking about I speak a lot about women on my channel. Yes, I do. But you notice how I keep telling that we're looking for girlfriends and long-term relationships and wives. Because that is a huge part of being a passport bro. We are moving away from Western women to foreign women. I also teach IT every week. Phil does it every week too. So brothers who are calling themselves passport bros in Brazil, they ain't passport bros. Because for passport bros, it's all about foreign women, IT, personal development, and living a great life. And I teach on my channel all day long. Okay. So I want the best options for brothers, which is why I speak a lot about women. End of the day, we're men. We're on this earth to find a respectable female mate to make babies. We're not here to be alone our whole lives. So we need to speak about the women, bro. You want to speak about other men? Pause.
Yeah.
Pause, bro.
Yeah.
I never said
Pause,
that,
bro.
and I was landing at my point. I was saying, as men, you know, our first and foremost, our mission is to go and conquer, right? Is to go and conquer, accomplish things, and enrich your lives and the lives of others. Women's are just a benefactor, or what do you call it, a byproduct of our success and what we can attain. We're not meant to, you know, we are social creatures, but that's not our main mission in life. That's their main mission in life. They are designed to seek out relationships, not us.
But
And
brother,
what I'm saying
let me
is,
tell you this, brother. Right. So
like,
if we were to move away all the entertainment, right, and put yourself on mute, bro, 'cause I'm hearing background noise, right? So the entertainment, if we were to take away entertainment, take away, let's say, all the TV, you know, all the NFL, NHL, all these sport things, right? And we're just men and women on this earth. We're gonna be doing what we're meant to do on this earth: procreate and supply and multiply and make babies. So it is very important that we bring in foreign women into this passport bros conversation, bro. We need to have women in this, and it's foreign women, bro. We can't just be lone wolves, right, without a good chick behind us. Speak on that, Theo. Come, bro.
Yeah,
I never
I
said that.
definitely
I never
hold
said
on.
that.
Hold
Hold
on.
on.
I
Like,
will.
I just, because I keep getting interrupted. You keep like turning my mic off, and I'm like, I never even landed at the point.
Listen, bro, this is my channel, and you were speaking for far too long, bro. If you're saying your point, your point is far too long, bro. You got to tone it down and consolidate it, bro. So I'm gonna let Theo speak, and you speak after. You got a problem? Step off, bro. We
Okay.
ain't playing no funny business here, bro. This ain't it. This ain't a show where you're gonna come up here and tell me what to do on my own channel, bro. So calm down.
Okay.
You're talking too much, bro. I'm gonna let Theo speak. Then you speak after, bro. Go on, Theo.
Yeah. So I've lived outside the country over 20 years. And my philosophy and my, again, what I always stated to the men was do not be a whore abroad. Find someone that you like, get married, and make a family. If you can't do that, leave. And in particular, I employed that. I preached that to the English and to the Aussies while I was in Japan, because I was there for over 16 years. And I was like, hey, if you're not discreet, if you can't deal with this, if you're gonna be like a betcha a lech, we don't want you a part of this culture. Get out. And I was married to a Japanese woman, had a great time. I'm also had a Filipino in my life, had a great time with her too, but it was long term. Now I also teach. I teach on EWS, and I have over 200 students. All right. Now in my situation, I also teach them how to be passport bros. Many of my students are passport bros, and I tell them not to go abroad and listen to making $100,000 a year, and ideally over 200,000. And some of my students are actually doing that, and they're abroad, and some of them are actually in Brazil. All right. So while they're abroad, I say, okay, you find a woman, it's true. Be honest with her, have a relationship with her. Don't do a rotation. Don't be a man whore. And that's my position. So if a guy is going abroad and he's being a man whore, he is not a part of us. He's a man whore. He needs to go back home. That's our position as passport bros.
And on this channel too, bro. So if you're sitting on other channels, that ain't gonna have to do with me. I do what I do on my channel: IT, passport bros, foreign women, personal development, and that's it, bro. So do you want to speak on that, Rocky, on anything else before I go into the next call?
Yeah, so, you know, I got to introduce your channel. I saw a video that you did on Bahia. You said like something like, you know, I forget the name of the channel, but you had a brother on there who had like an American flag on his background, just spewing all sorts of nonsense, and he had no sort of real understanding of this place. You know, he said, "Oh, he literally grouped and said all the women here are like they're feminists and this and this and that and like, and it is a very divided country. There's very conservative people here, especially in the South, Southeast. There's very liberal people here. But to group, especially in a state like Bahia, first of all, Bahia is a place that's bigger than the UK. And you know how big the UK is, all the way up from Newcastle upon Tyne down to London, all the way up to Millwall and all these other places. Luton, like, Bahia is bigger than that. Bahia is bigger than Spain. It's bigger than Italy. It's almost the size of France. It's a big place. So to generalize, especially when there's a lot of like conservative cities within the interior, and say that the women are all like feminists and they're all sluts or you know, or 304s or whatever, da da da. And I'm like, yo, like, and there was a
But he
lot of
lived
holes
there.
in this story. Nah, he didn't live there.
He
I
lived
don't
there.
think he lived there because, you know, there was a lot of holes in this story. And for you to live here, he claimed he had 2 years there, right? But you know, which a lot of people claim. Like a lot of men, either they go there and stay there
So
for their 6 months.
what's the point, bro? What's the point, bro?
I'm
What's
saying that
what's your point?
that's very misleading. It's inaccurate. You know, it's
Yeah,
very
we'll
it's
be
So
coming on
inaccurate
this,
to
but
it's
let me
inaccurate
say
to.
that. Let me say this: Bahia is not bigger than Texas. We're bigger than you, and we can categorize women here as we want. I'm here right now. If I want to say something about Texas women, I can do that. There's over 30 million people here. I have the right to say that as I want. If somebody comes on, they had 2 years, and they're talking about their experience, that's their experience. If it
Mhm.
doesn't coincide with yours, fine. But people have said things about Japan. I've looked at them and said, you weren't there long enough. But I respect their opinion because that's actually what their experience was. So I have to respect it. Way life is.
All right, so
Mm.
if it was his experience, he could say in his experience, which I didn't hear him say. That would be a more accurate statement, which I could respect as well. But to say something like, "Oh, all women this in this place are all this and that in that
Bro,
place is X Y Z way,"
if that's how it
that's
feels, bro.
inaccurate.
If that's how
Yeah,
it feels, that's how it feels, bro. That's how
and
it
he's
feels. That's how
entitled
it
to
feels.
that. He's entitled to
So
that. But the way you
if he
express
wants to
that,
generalize, if he wants to generalize the whole of bias that way, that's his own personal opinion, bro. And I know
right?
that brother. I'm gonna take his word for it, bro. He's a very smart brother. He's been there for a long time, and we spoke personally, one-on-one basis. He's speaking facts, bro. And I have multiple sources that corroborate with his point as well, bro. But here it's done for, bro.
Really? Okay.
It's done, bro. All right, thank you, Rocky. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. 'Cause your mic is really bad. All right, thanks, Rocky, man. All right, so let me bring in Mr. MEB. MEB, can you turn your camera on in the background, please?
You
All right,
always, again, that's like, I was looking at it like, we always know to take it with a grain of salt because we're adults. I mean, come on, bro.
I mean, like, there's a reason why this is one of the best Passport Bros channel on the web right now. I have different sources, different opinions. I don't
Right.
cap, right?
Yeah.
He that's his own personal experience, the brother, and that's it. And if you don't like it, if you disagree with it, you're also entitled to that opinion. But don't try and discredit him and say that he's talking nonsense. He's speaking
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
as simple as that, bro. So let me get in Mr. Meb in the building. Meb, you got your camera on? Is that good? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, let me bring in Meb. Awesome.
Turn my camera off. I didn't want to have my camera still on. Yeah. So I've been following this. Am I on? I guess I am. I might
You want it,
have you
bro?
guys. All right.
Hmm?
So I've been following this channel for like since 2020, and so I didn't have any clue about Passport Bro or Passport Pookie and all that stuff. And what your channel has really kind of like motivated me to see like other countries. And so like this October, I'm going to Japan. I'm thinking about trying to stay there
Let me
long
ask.
term. Go ahead.
Let me ask this, brother. Speak about the topic, please, bro. So, what's your thoughts about Passport Sisters?
Our Passport Sisters. All right. So the thing is that I like Dio said, I'm not really that worried about them because when they go there, I've seen it all on YouTube because that's one of the first things I did was research like how black women do well. And it's like they always say the guy ended up leaving them in the end. And they're making this YouTube video where they're crying and stuff like that. And then when I compare it to black men, they're like, "Oh man, it's great over here. I'm doing fine." I was like, "Well, it's such a big difference So that's one of the things I noticed.
Okay. All right. Thank you, bro. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Meb. So, can we get a new caller in the building, brothers? Anyone
Meb,
on the time? Go on, bro.
Oh, sorry. Matt, have you ever been to Japan?
Go on,
No,
Meb.
I haven't.
I'm just gonna keep it short because I don't want to jump off topic. But once you go over there, you're not gonna want to come back. I'll let you know that right now.
Do not
Yeah.
make the same mistake I did. Do not make.
Don't do the same thing I did either.
Yeah, well, I'm
Please.
trying to go there and not have to get kicked out by not having any, like, you know, by not finding a job. So I'm trying to find a job. So
brothers, this ain't the stream for it. Sorry, brothers.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So
I was
keep
just
on
answering
topic,
the
please.
question.
All right, no worries, bro. So, possible sisters, go on, Fives.
Oh no, I just because I am about to leave soon and bid y'all a good night, but I did want to have a couple of other talking points that are on topic. The first one was because you showed that video twice, right? With the girls, we'll call it dancing on top of the site there. Did we just have an incident with the submarine people who went to the side of the Titanic and stuff like that? So I'm not sure how many people in this chat are superficial, but this seems like this is going to come back to bite them hard and fast. Like, just, yeah.
It's not.
Oh, isn't it?
No, it's not. If anything, it's gonna make them bigger. It's gonna make them money, brother. That's black women in America, bro.
Yeah, it won't get them husbands though. That's for sure.
The worst part of it for me that I think of is because, man, I've dealt with some amazing women in the United States. I'm gonna talk about incredible. They got their money right, they're doing everything right, and they still treat you good. You know, I've met a couple, but that's like a couple out of a whole freak ton of a lot of women. So it's like when you look at these women doing what they do, that generalizes the whole perspective for what black women are in the United States. It's messed up, but you don't see none of these sophisticated women sticking up saying, "Oh no, y'all don't need to do that." This that. I mean, you got them, but they're not as big, you know, so they don't have much of an impact. Especially when you see ratchet stuff like this. This is what the world like to see when it comes to people, women that look like us, been through the same slavery and everything that our ancestors been through. That's what the world want to see. They want to see us as stupid and ignorant. You know, the women that are actually doing things, the women that are actually trying to bust their behinds to try to have a good man in the United States. You don't see them because they're very small numbers. They're in very small towns. They're not in the big cities. You know what I'm saying? Like you might got some that's in the big cities, but for the most part, the majority of the chicks are that you see in the limelight are the ones that ain't got nothing to do with themselves. You know, the ones that's doing it and they're actually good women, you'll never see them. You'll never hear about them. They most likely married, about to get married, or somebody about to marry them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the way it is anywhere you go. Just like here in Cali, man, I ain't gonna put all the beans out there. You know what I'm saying? But I've been with a good bit of women since I've been here. You feel what I'm saying? And you can see just from Colombia how it's so like, dang, it's kind of similar in some situations when you deal with certain women, but at the same time, they're all feminine, they're all beautiful, amazing, even if they're doing it to try to get something out you or whatever. You know, when you see those, just get away from it.
Thank you, bro. All right, so let me bring in Mr. Amari in the background. Thank you, bro. You want to chime into this conversation, Amari?
Oh man, I'm loving how it's going. I'm loving what I'm hearing. Yeah, definitely. I do have a point that I want to say. Can you hear me well?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that this is not a movement to bash Black women. We are not anti-Black women. We love Black women. We're Black. Of course, we love our woman. My first woman I was ever into was Black woman. You know, this is about now. This is about the present timing of what we're seeing going on in society, and people just tarnishing like our culture and tarnishing our image around the world. That's what this is about. So like, I just noticed like some people think we're trying to bash people or we're like against our own woman. we're only chasing these international women. No, we're chasing submissive women. That's what it is. We're chasing submissive women that will respect us and treat us right. That's what this movement is about. So that's what the big picture is. So I just wanted to put that out there.
And by the way, this was my final point too. Perfect, actually a pretty solid segue. You know how we checked that one dude that was in Japan and he was making a mess on that train, and then they pulled up into his house, and then he had to apologize. Essentially, this is the same thing we're doing with this video. We're just checking y'all. It's just that you saw how old boy at least figured out that, oh, what I did was very stupid. It was wrong. But y'all are actually, that contradicts what I said earlier. Thanks for catching that, Theo. Yeah, y'all are praising this. They're like, go ahead with your bad stuff, girl, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, we check that stuff over here. Like, we don't, it would be the same thing I would want you to do with me if I was doing some stupid stuff, basically.
Thing about they ain't never been checked before. Right? Never been properly checked. And they never will.
No. And when you do check them, they start saying, "Oh, you hate black women. You did and that. You did." We don't want you being like that. It's basically what it is. It's sign language.
Yeah, and so you go internationally, that stuff doesn't work. So they try, and then the natives in other countries are like, "What are you doing? Like, this isn't acceptable." That's it. Like, they're not going to go any further than that because they're like, "We're disgusted with it."
Colombia.
I don't know how. How's it Colombia?
Men run this over here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys this. One of the things I noticed before I went to South Korea is a lot of the things I was hearing about South Korea with like, being black in South Korea, a lot of the bad things, and I'm not trying to generalize, but a lot of bad things were coming from black. They were like, the people don't like us over here and they shove you and everything. And I never really heard anything from like black men in particular. A lot of black men said, it's good, they treat you real good over here, the food is nice and everything. And me going over there and coming back, it's like, I don't see what those people were talking about. I don't see what they were talking about. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of blew my reality. I'm just like, what were they talking about?
Because they're always trying to introduce fear in order to control you. So they don't want you to get on the airplane. Once you get on the airplane, especially if you speak the language like you do, you get on the airplane, that's it. They're out of your control. They're out of their control. You already know. You're outside the matrix. Then they say something, you're like, hey, I'm just going to laugh at you. That's it.
Pretty much.
Again, when they say something about abroad, I just start laughing. I'm like, that's why I said, like, go ahead, go abroad. I have nothing to lose. Go ahead. Like, let the natives deal with you. That's fine. Because I love the natives. We have a great time together.
Let me bring in Mr. J Takashi, right? And before I bring him in, right, I just want to say this, right? Some of y'all dudes are weird, man. You complaining about me speaking too much about women. I mean, what else am I going to speak about? If you're on the other side, right, this ain't the channel for you. If you play on the other team, this ain't the channel for you. How can the guy say you speak too much about women? Y'all some weirdos, bruv. You guys are weird, man.
There's no benefit to being on the other team. The other team's not even going to support you.
Let me bring in Jay Takashi, man, real quick.
By yourself crying.
What's going on, Jay?
How you doing, my brothers, man? It's been a minute.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa, kyodai. Omae no genki desu ka?
Sugoku genki da yo.
Watashi. No. But like I said, I miss you guys, and I really want to touch up on this because what that brother said is that we G-check people because if they're part of the movement that we are passport bros. That fool that was talking on nonsense in Japan, me and Mr. Barry, our brother, our other mentor right here. My brother, my other mentor up here is Theo as well. We had to G-check that clown because you don't get to do that and talk nonsense and not get checked on it. Because guess what? It was going to be on site if we ever saw you. Because guess what? You don't get to make fun of Japan or be disrespectful towards any culture, people, and thinking you're going to get away with it. Because guess what? If you were in New York and you said something like that to a cat's full of Bloods or Crips on the bus, they would automatically kill you. No offense when I say that. I'm trying to use better words, brother. But they would handle you. And guess what? It's going to be at the cost of your life. So over here, when ladies think they can try to copy our little system that we got going on over here, sorry, it's doomed to fail. Number one, and number two, we don't incite hate. What we are doing is helping men become even better versions of themselves. I recently came into an opportunity by another person just recently about me trying to get me quicker to where I want to go. And trust me, and I'm going to follow it. I want to know why I'm going to do it. One, because guess what? I have faith in my fellow black men. I have faith in good men in general. Two, I'm going to put I'm going to put in the work. Three, we here to have W's. I want to see IP married. I want to see my man Theo married. I want to see every cat on here married to a freaking gorgeous lady next to him that they've worked their, I can't use that word, they've worked their freaking rears off to get. Because trust me, we didn't spend all this time to freaking learn what we learned just to deal with loudmouth children. I'm not marrying a child. I plan on having children, but I'm not planning on being married to one. That's not what we signed up for. And it's not what we're looking for. Our movement is to empower brothers to be better than they have ever been and not be ridiculed and labeled losers by some woman who actually doesn't know what an actual man is. So my advice to any brother out there that's hearing that nonsense, but I'll be honest, the ones who actually know their worth and who are building themselves up, brother, ignore the nonsense. Because guess what? That's a bunch of sirens who are going to be crying when they're 50 or 60 years old and alone and miserable by themselves. And I can tell you this right now, that's a miserable life. Because I've met too many older people tell me they regret a lot of things. And it's mostly coming from ladies, man. Some of the men are just content living in cabins but by themselves and just like some of the money that they've had. These ladies, they're trying to do this out of spite. And I mean that. Because guess what? Why feel the need to plaster it and gloat around us when we don't really care? Do what you want to do. I don't really care. First of all, you're not paying my bills, so why do I care?
Thank you, bro.
So no, that's it. Thank
you, Jay. Obviously, bro, you got to keep the words PG. So
I got you.
KILL.
Yeah. That's something self-delete. I'm sorry about that, brother. I'm trying. That's why I said I can't use that word. So I want to make sure I keep that rule there.
Shout out to Vaughn James for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, bro, for the support. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you very much.
We should start using the words in Japanese just to have fun. I should teach you guys the real words in Japanese. You guys should say that intermittently with on YouTube, because the algorithm wouldn't be able to pick it up. The engine wouldn't be able to pick it up. So we can have all kinds of fun with that.
We can make it a game too. If they catch us in Japanese, we'll just switch to Spanish and then Portuguese and then just.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? We have all these languages here. We got all kinds of fun.
How many languages are there in the world? We'll just use all of them. You don't have the time nor the patience.
Let me bring in Mr. I am Jules. Jules, can you turn the camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll, please, bro? You're confirmed. Thank you, Jules. Turn your camera off. Let me bring in Mr. I am Jules. What's going on, I am Jules? You're on mute. Unmute yourself, bro.
Hey guys,
what's going on,
how's
brother?
Going? IP, Theo, panel. I was up here a couple weeks ago, and Theo was up here too. I think anyone who's listening to this has to realize this is a good window. Theo's offering an opportunity to get into a field that, and training to do it, that you're really not going to get without spending a significant amount of money. You're gonna spend time, but that's just guaranteed. And I took the initial lab. I think I was in class 3, but I'm in a different vertical, so I'm going to come back to it after the conclave and jump into it full force. But I'll say for my first pass at it, you're going to get dipped in. You're going to get to show what do your employers expect for you to know how to do on the job.
Sorry, brother. Do you have any top points on the live stream topic, please, bro? It's not an IT stream.
No, I mean, like it's part of that is like you need the motivation to get to point to where you can do what you want to do. Like the women is a portion of it. You're kind of running away from bad women and then running towards a better opportunity. This is a good opportunity.
You know? I would say on that
But-
the women have no motivation abroad to stay there.
Yeah.
So they can't stick there. They can't. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So-
So you're definitely going to get a good chance to get what you want out of this life, right? And if you do it the way that Theo suggests in his courses, you have an opportunity to get to where you want to go to quicker. You know, like your on ramp to a life that is a lot better. America will seem you could live a good life here. You could live a good life here, but you could also live a life that's 5 times better. Purchasing power, influence, and if you network with the right guys, you have a network of people that can build in, and then you can do different things. You know, you can start buying property, set up small businesses. You know, reach out to people who are already on here, like IP, Andre, Theo. You know, all these type of guys who are like setting up online stuff to get people motivated. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and you will meet women there because. And I'll tell you this: I've been to 30 countries, and
Brother,
some guys
let me
go
ask you,
abroad.
Sorry, bro. Topic, please keep on track, brother. So, what's your thoughts about passport sisters? Now, this isn't an IT stream or getting to being a
No,
passport.
I mean,
bro.
it all ties. It ties
Passport
into it
sister.
because men wind up going for work, and then the women appear. There are women who are women of the night, but the women who go abroad, the men don't appear, or the men they don't want, or the men they want don't appear. They just can't manifest it in that sense over there. You wind up in any country in the world, if you're on there on business or even on pleasure, you just have a lot more at your fingertips, and you can do a lot more.
Brother, so let me ask you, brother, right? Do you agree with passport sisters, or do you disagree with them? What's your opinion about women who travel that are BWs in our community?
They can do it, but they're just not going to like the end result because they're going to go abroad. And I've seen it, man. I've seen 55, 6-year-old women. I've seen some go to Haiti, some go to Ghana, some go to Italy, Germany, and they'll get clapped out, but they don't get the guy they want. They don't get the life they want, and they have to pay for it, and they hate that.
I seen them do it in their 20s and 30s, man. Shit.
One thing I will say is
But it's something sadder when it's your chunky foot aunt who really just wants a man to take care of her, but she's got to take care of a man, and all she gets from it is, she gets clapped, and then she has to pay all the bills. Meanwhile, the men can go abroad and go keep moving, and don't mind paying the bills because they're getting what they want, and they can have their network.
Let me read the super chat real quick. Shout out to Mr. Balajano for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you both for the support. The BWs are walking L. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you both for the support. Speaking facts there. Thank you very much. I am Jules. Much appreciated, bro. Let me get in a new caller. Mr. Dark Ninja, can you turn your camera on in the background, please? I know you're not a troll. That should be my mod. You're confirmed, Dark Ninja. Thank you, bro. Turn your camera off. What's going on, Dark Ninja?
What's good, brothers? Y'all hear me?
Loud and clear, bro.
Echo.
All good.
Yes, sir. All right. So the topic is on passport sisters, right?
Yes, indeed, brother.
Yes, sir. I seen a video of what they were doing in Ghana, how they were disrespect ancestors, during slavery time. I see it as very degrading. Yeah. Shake my head.
Carry on, bro.
Oh, have mercy. Yeah, man. This just makes them look bad. They already have a bad reputation already in Africa. If you hear what they're doing there too, they can't even talk back to the African man because they know they'll get the backhand and front hand. So we all know the deal. So, look, if all those things they're doing, twerking, acting degenerate, all those things only works in America. This is why I always, if our ABWs, I always recommend to stay in America if you want to keep doing what you're doing. No, but the thing about them is that ABWs, the issue and their problem is that when they go overseas, right, they bring that mentality to these countries, and they come into the country like how can I say, like they're nesting type shit. It's like, no, it's type. My bad.
Language, please.
No cussing, but yeah, you know what I mean, right? So they're not really there to understand the culture and assimilate to the culture. You get what I mean?
Yeah, yes, indeed, bro. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Dark Ninja. Great point there, brother. I am Jules. Do you want to comment on the twerking?
Hey, yeah. So when I saw this, it reminded me of a movie that came out in 1993 called Sankofa. It's made by Holly Garima. He was one of those guys that came out of the LA Rebellion. There's a bunch of like black filmmakers from that time, right? Sankofa was a movie that starts off with a black woman from America. She goes to Elamina Castle in Ghana, and she starts not twerking, but she's like posing and sexualizing herself on the castle with a white photographer. And the movie proceeds with her being sent back in time through like the door of no return, going through the process, getting through the ships, getting brought over to America. And this was only 30 years ago that it was seen that this was a bad thing to do. And this was put on film for this to see it. This is like an Ethiopian man teaching African-American film. Meanwhile, 30 years later, we're so disconnected that these women are doing the same thing and they're being celebrated. That's how much the culture has fallen in a generation.
Go on, Theo.
I think the movie's available on Netflix, so you can see the movie, and it really is. It's like ripped out of off the screen.
Yeah, it's yet another reason why we have to have a separation, because building with them is impossible.
Yeah.
So it's best that we are abroad and we build abroad with them, because we'll actually get somewhere. But we're, again, us, the Passport Bros, who are progressive, educated, going out and doing something, getting it done. We have the opportunity to actually make families and make legacies abroad. ABW. So again, I would say to the Passport sisters, you want to go out? I have no comment on it. But what is your end result? Because how are you going? I mean, okay, if you're going to leave the West behind and actually go abroad and actually integrate and really never come back to the States, okay, I want to see how that works. But okay, fine. Most Passport Bros aren't even really thinking about green cards for their spouses because they're staying abroad. So they're keeping their spouse abroad. When I was married in Japan, again, I was married 6 years. I did not bring my wife. I did not need a green card for her at all. We didn't do that. And I was like, can you actually, ABW, can you actually go to that level where you're integrated into the culture so much and the economy that, you going back with your spouse isn't going to happen. You're just in there. You need a spousal visa for their culture. You don't need a green card for your husband. They're not at that level. I mean, well, go ahead, try, What do they think they're going to be like Merkel? Who is it? Megan? They think they're going to be like Megan or something. I've seen some Passport sisters go around and saying like the top 1% of Europeans are trying to date black women, and I'm like,
yeah, right.
I'm like, okay, I mean that tie. I mean, what are you really talking about here? I don't think this is happening, but okay.
They would look at that attitude and run. They'd be like, nope, I'm not wifing you up.
Yeah, they think they're going to marry to the royal family or something like that. I'm like, okay.
All right, so we have 15 more minutes. Okay, we're going to end it at 2 hours, 30 minutes, 15 more minutes. So let me bring in a new caller called Mr. Sid Osley. Sid, you're confirmed. Do you want to turn your camera off or leave it on? It's up to you, bro. All right, give me a thumbs up, bro, if you want it on. Okay, let me bring in Mr. Sid Osley. What's going on, Sid?
Hey, what's up, IP? I want to thank you and thank Theo for what y'all doing. I'm in Theo's class, and I got to thank you guys for what you're doing for brothers.
Thank you, brother.
The mission that you guys are on is very important. Shout out to Andrew. He made it to Korea.
Yeah,
brother. But on this thing with the Passport sisters, of course, what those sisters did in Ghana was disrespectful and crazy. This Western culture, man, it has good things about it, as far as, material things, being able to make money and stuff like that. But the stuff that is done to black folks all over the world, and particularly to our sisters, man, it's crazy. I'm gonna tell a story about meeting some sisters in Brazil, some sisters that were from the States and from Britain, and I think there were two white girls in the group too. One white girl, she was in her early 30s, and she had been living in Brazil for almost a decade. Didn't have any long-term relationships with Brazilian men, and as a matter of fact, she was moving back to Britain to find a husband because she couldn't find one in Brazil. And what these women don't understand is you can't go to someone else's country with the Western craziness in your head, thinking that you're going to make the men of another country, especially a Latin country or even certain European countries and Asian, you can't make these men change into a Western man. You can't apply that standard to them. And these women and these sisters, they weren't like the twerking ones in Ghana. These sisters were actually, industrious and entrepreneurial. They were, able to go to another country and make their own way, which has to always be admired. But when it comes to dealing with men and relationships, they still had the Western nonsense in their head and thought that they were going to bring that to another country.
Yeah.
Stay in the West. If a woman can't get a Western man in a Western country, you pretty much don't have any hope going to another country. If Western men are the most domesticated men on the planet, if you can't get a man there, you're not gonna get a man anywhere.
Facts. Great.
Well,
breakdown
we also are the richest. We're also the richest. So, like, a Western woman would have to do major compromise on both anticipated cash flow and height. That would be the first two areas. So she'd have to be like 5'9", 5'7" max, and like say $2,000 to $3,000 a month max in income. Like that would be a good situation. Okay, go ahead, go for it, lady. Go ahead. I'm all for you. Go for it. I'm gonna sit back and just have all kinds of fun with this and just just laugh while I see the results. Whereas I'm dating women who I don't even care about their salary. I'm having a great time.
Yeah. When you're a halfway decent man from the West, hardworking, nice guy, got some sense to you, you can go anywhere on the planet and get a woman. But for the sisters, they have a set of standards, the Western standards, that they cannot take that to another country and apply it and get good results.
That's facts, man. That's absolute facts. Like that's a good point there. So like, if you're a Western woman, right, and you can't find a husband in the West, because there's a lot of simps here in the West, there's a lot of useless dudes out here. You can't find a husband to hold you down. You're gonna fail abroad. You're going to fail abroad, without a single doubt. You're gonna be a sea dumpster, to keep it PG.
Hey,
and also
cat dumpster, cats.
And cats.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Excuse me, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Is it all right if I can have a closing statement, please?
Sure.
You go on 5, yes.
Yep. So on topic, right? Passport cis movement, is it destined to fail? To be quite honest with you, it's a cop-out answer, but I don't know. I mean, it really just depends on if they get, a Brittany Grenier situation where they end up getting in lockup or they end up getting deported, whether they make a fuss about it, whether they bring it to the global stage and things like that. Again, these ladies did this in Ghana on a grave site, and they're getting a lot of praise for it by their own community. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't know, because I think that in retrospect, yes, for their long-term goals and what they really want, they're going to fail. But I think that long-term, we're going to win. And that's just my opinion.
Awesome. Thank you, Faz, man. Thank you for calling in, brother. Much appreciated.
All right.
I would like to say something too.
Have a good night.
Okay, go on, Andrew. Good night,
The
Faz.
B-
Thank you, bro.
To the BWs that are in the stream listening to IP, he's not discriminating you guys. He's not discouraging you women. He's telling you women the truth. And that's another thing too, is whenever somebody tells the passport system BWs the truth, they always say it's somebody being mean. It's the same thing they said to Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels was actually trying to help the women out by saying, listen, the reason why he was so hard, like how IP is, he's saying, listen, we're all saying, listen, there is a time. Do you have a clock, a biological clock? Kevin Samuels said the same thing. And when he stated the facts, what did they all do? Oh, he's mean. He's he ain't nothing. Kevin Samuels, going on his panel and disrespecting him. He was never disrespecting y'all. And IP's not disrespecting y'all at all. He's just telling you the truth, the hard truth of how the world is working right now with passport sisters. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Andrew. Much appreciated, man. So that's Andrew's last closing statement. Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Mari, do you have any closing statements?
Yeah, I was just gonna chime in and just wrap it up myself. I just want to say, essentially, like, you go into a gravesite, right, where slaves, ancestors that went through slavery, literally, went through everything they went through just so that you can have the freedom that you have today, And the thing is, these women don't look up to scholars anymore. They don't look up to women that are actually, on the right track. They look up to these like Megan Thee Stallions. They look up to these rappers. They look up to, and then one of the main issues is like men have become very de-emasculated. So pretty much the issue now is like men are all yes men, especially in America. Like a lot of men are just yes men because the woman wear the pants in the relationship. So a lot of the men, like, they're scared, the women just leave them, and the men are like sheeps. So that's why like a lot of these women are like acting like men now, doing like not even men, but acting just crazy. Like there's no leash. So they're just loose, they're just running everywhere and doing whatever they want to do because men have been so demasculated. Whereas in these other countries, foreign countries, is different. Like for instance, like lastly, when I went to like Colombia, I went to Parque Eras and like I saw brothers all just at like, paying, instead of like, like going cold approaching and like doing it the other, like how you should be doing it. Most brothers were taking the easy way out. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Like, I'm good looking. I don't need to do this shit. Like, oh, sorry. I don't have to do this. So what I did was I went to the mall and I cold approached and bro, I got a like Latina that was a mixed BW, Latina mixed with Colombian, everything. So exotic looking, beautiful. Literally, she paid for my ice cream. The next day she was at my place. Like literally, it's that different. Like whereas in BWs, if they're pretty in America, you gotta do a lot more work to get them. So like so yeah, like it's unfortunate, it's rather unfortunate. And I just hope that like, like at least we're awake. At least we're awake and we're not gonna be those guys. Like we're awake, we can try to help other guys wake up too. So like, yeah, keep going. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amari, for that closing statement. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you very much. So let me go to Mr. J. Takashi. Do you have any closing statements?
Sorry about that, y'all. I'm fighting a throat. It's freaking sore. But listen, guys. It's disrespectful what these women did, particularly. I don't look at it anyway. I just think, like I said, I just don't pay them any mind. To me, they're none but cattle in my mind, because you're not doing anything progressive and you're just doing dumb stuff. So on that regards, and man, have fun in the field. But for the men out here who are on IP channel, which by the way, IP, I'm glad you've garnered the attention you've gotten. You've worked your tail off to go, and actually that you're visiting some places. That's great, man. I love your videos. You're posting every day, trying to just giving these men here on this panel an idea of what's out there for them. A reward, particularly if they go to this area and they invest in this culture and they make their money in IT and that this is what's waiting for them and this is what they can somewhat expect. But guys, like I said, what he's telling you still have to put in the work. Don't let that fool you. It's all nice, but you have to put in the work first. Establish yourself and rise like a phoenix. You are. Simple enough. That's all I gotta say, IP. Y'all brothers have a good night. I gotta heal up this throat.
Get better, brother. Thank you.
Gambate.
Jamata.
Jamata. Thank you, bro. All right, so let's go to Mr. Swave Prince. Do you have any closing statements?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not long-winded, but as a man that's been married to two women in the United States, and I divorced both of them, plenty of relationships, brothers, y'all got to get away from this crap, man. Like it's not gonna do you any good trying to be a family man. I was a family man for 8 years. I did the football practice. I was a stepdad, simp, all that shit, man. All that.
Oh.
But it took me going through things just like it takes a lot of brothers in order to tell you by not how not to simp, how not do these things because they actually had to go through it. You feel what I'm saying? So, fellas, understand that these brothers that's telling all this from the whole time this IP been doing this, from all the men that he had on this panel, these brothers telling the truth about the situations within the United States that they had to go through, along with how it is when you just leave the country. Now, take note, no woman is perfect, but I'm telling you, you get a better bang for your buck, and you get a better state of mind just by dealing with women that don't even live near you. Forget the pre-gaming and all that crap. Just go. Figure out how to go. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that breakdown there, Swave Prince. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, bro. Let me now go to Mr. Sid Osley. Do you have any closing statements, brother?
Yeah, I just want to tell the brothers to stay focused, get your certs. If you're not in Theo or IP's class, get in. Don't pay no attention to all this craziness going out here, in the West. There's plenty of bullshit, excuse me. There's plenty of, distractions that can come your way, but stay focused. And we the new black community, we see that the black community that we have in the States and in Britain and stuff like that, it's not overall, it's not going anywhere. And so it's brothers like us that can take things in a different, new and better direction, because we're trying to uplift ourselves. And when we go somewhere and create families and create income and business and stuff like that, man, we're doing something that very few people in the other parts of the black community are actually doing. So, we're the ones that's the new black community.
Facts. Thank you, Sid Osley. Appreciate you, bro. Awesome. All right, so Mr. Dark Ninja, do you have any closing statements, brother?
Yes, sir. Okay, so for what I want to say is that, look, brothers, it's a Western problem. It's not a black woman problem. It's a Western problem. We're dealing with American women and British women and every Western woman issue. It's not a black woman itself. So, like I was saying, the ABWs have a bad software, right? There's other groups of black women outside of America. So there's black women in South America, Afro-Latinas, Africa, Germany, all these other places, even certain places in Asia. So you don't have to stick so low and deal with low quality females. You feel me? So you want something that can give you peace, not chaos. So brothers, know your worth. We know our worth over here, Passport Bros. Yeah, and just find a great quality woman, get your passports, and see new horizons. God bless.
Yes, indeed. Yo, great comment there. Thank you, Dark Ninja. Appreciate you, brother. Now, Mr. Jules, do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation and thank you for having me up. I just want to point out the big thing is if you are not making your best bet to make a future for yourself, you're going to feel downward pressure if you're not above, I'd say like the 60th percentile in income, whether that's W-2 or 1099, right? Because if you look at the latest budget that came across in when they were doing all this budget hikes, the debt ceiling stuff, they are implementing a 1% cut across the board as far as discretionary spending. So that means military, are going to get their budget filled. But all the other stuff that comes in, social services, health services, all of that is starting to get more cuts. So if you have downward pressure on the poorest folks and you are very connected to the poorest folks, you're going to be pulled down. And you have to either say, I'm going to succeed, or I can bring a few people with me and we are going to succeed. If we're not, I'm going to. And I'll list a couple of places they're cutting. And this is from GovTrack, right? Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Community Health Services, National Health Service Corps, Nurse Corps, graduate level teaching and health centers, mental health and substance abuse centers, grants for mental health medical providers, funding for pediatric mental health care access, grant survivors for SA, child A prevention, medical visits at home for families, state and local fiscal recovery funds. So if you had a business, that's going to hit you. Rural healthcare grants, elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds, housing for the elderly. And this is a big portion. There are going to be work requirements for anyone on welfare. Basically, if you, here's what I'll say. It's from Section 311. In order to receive food benefits for more than 3 months in a 3-year period, able-bodied people have to work at least 20 hours per week or participate in a work program for 20 hours per week, unless that person is under 18, over 50, medically unable, parent with dependent children. So that's going to be one of the outs. Be careful, fellas. Or is pregnant, right? And the provision increases the work requirement age over the next few years, so it becomes 55 years old. So they're trying to make more people who have working age actually work and earn what they get from the government, right? So be aware that the government is shifting to saying you have to be more responsible for what you are taking or getting from your government. It's not going to free checks. Those are cut. And if you get them, they're going to be, stipulations on the back end. Thank you.
Thanks for that breakdown there.
Have a good night, both of you guys, and everyone on
You too, bro.
the audience.
Thank you, I am Jules. I appreciate you, brother. Awesome. So, brothers, we are at the end of the first ever Passport Bro show on my channel. Like I told you, brothers, this show will be hosted by me and Theo every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I will see you, brothers, next Monday. Theo, do you have any closing statements, brother?
I had a great time. I had a great time talking about the reality of the ABW abroad. And again, ladies, again, any one of you listening, you want to go abroad, I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm not trying to say, oh, don't do this or don't do that. I'm just like, okay. And we'll see what the results are. Most of you guys are community property or international community property. All right. You guys keep on going back and forth. You guys, it seems like you like it. So, all right. Passport bros, get married. Have long-term relationships. They are really able to integrate into the culture, like I did in Japan. They're able to help other people integrate. They stay there for long periods of time, and their focus is the other culture, not the West. So I just want to say, I think this movement is great. I think what you're doing, IP, is wonderful. We got to keep it going. We have to keep on working. And again, our students who are listening to us, we're very happy with you. Keep on grinding, guys. Keep on working, and you will find your way out of the country with 6 figures. And when you go out and you can be in another country for 6 months and work remotely, and then you can step out and you're successful, you will be totally happy, and you're going to have a life about which you could never dream previously. So it's going to happen. So it's my closing statement, and I'll see y'all next Monday.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Theo. Much appreciated, brother. Peace out, bro. So, brothers, thank you very much for coming here and joining us on the first ever show on this channel. I will see you, brothers, next Monday for another show with me and Theo, where we'll break down another topic. So, let me know what clips you want me to what clips you want me to get from this stream to post separately on the channel. Just put the timestamps for me in the comment section of this video, and I will clip it and post and upload it separately. So if there's any interesting clips that you you thought that would be good for the channel, or that was good, let me know in the comment section or DM me on IG or Twitter, and I will clip it and I will post it on my YouTube channel. So how did the first ever show go for Passport Bros on this channel with me and Theo? Did you enjoy the show, brothers? The topic? And if there's any videos you want me to react to, any points you want me to speak on, okay, brothers, and me and Theo to speak on, send me a DM on IG and on Twitter, and me and Theo will try our best to speak on that topic, okay? So super happy as to how the show went. Once again, brothers, you want to get into IT, book your IT consultation with me. Please make sure you support the channel when I'm not streaming by hitting the PayPal. Make sure you cop the merch, and of course, make sure you join that Patreon. Okay, that Patreon is amazing. It will change your life. We did the Chinese stream yesterday, and you thought that was crazy. The part 1 and part 2 Chinese raw, explicit, X-filtered, X-rated version of that stream will shock you, brothers. Okay, so thank you, brothers, man. Once again, if there's any topics you want me and Theo to speak on, send me a DM on Instagram or on Twitter, okay? I will post in the Facebook group, and then we'll speak on that, brothers, okay? I'm International Passport, and I'll see you, brothers, on my next video. See you in the next show, brothers. See you next week, Monday. Peace out, brothers. Thank you.